That's happening along with the
right.
NFL picks. Also,
Are you
in the 12
going to
o'clock
play
hour.
defensive,
Mandatory.
Travis, since you were the first overall pick?
No, I think mine. No, I'm not the first overall pick. Slee's the first overall
Sorry,
pick.
your second overall
Yeah.
pick.
No, because I
You
think
already have the draft determined?
that I got to pick it. She actually decided to do it legit once, and I got to choose the
Oh,
draft.
okay.
you
I do
check?
it the same way every
Did you check?
time.
One sec, because I have a lot of follow-up questions. It's because I've never been a part of this yet. Did you check the names because would you be surprised if there was
Multiple Emilys.
6 sheets in there for 4 people?
It was legit.
Okay.
And I'm just saying it was legit.
Was
and
one of them colder than another one?
guess who won? You, which you typically don't. So I think that it just goes to show you that this has been rigged previously. But you get the top pick, I get the second. I'm not going to draft defensively because I think my choices will be different than yours.
Okay.
So
you don't
think,
need to.
I don't think I need to.
Yeah.
And with the second
That's what you
pick,
think.
there's a lot of really good first pick. Maybe that's what somebody who's going to draft defensively would say. They say they're not going to draft defensively. So I'm coming in this morning,
Yep.
and
Smoking a cig.
yeah, it's scotch and cigarettes
Feeling
is
great.
my new vibe.
Do you put the window down or do you just keep
I inhale
everything
the
in?
exhaust from the trucks
The
in front of
smog.
me. Yeah, I try to find an old truck with no muffler and just inhale
that's
the fumes along the way. But like I think we all do, you're kind of thinking about what you have the rest of the day. Okay, I got to go here. I got to do this. I got to do this. And then just in the back of my mind, for the first time through the entire process of all of this, was the Lakers have that Vegas thing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like the in-season tournament was a part of the thought process. Not that the Lakers have a game, which, they basically have a game every other day. It's kind of the schedule.
Yep.
But they have a game in Las Vegas that's part of that in-season tournament thing. I'm not saying that I'm all the way in on it, but for the first time since the thing has been launched, Slee, it had my attention. It was part of my subconscious that I knew the in-season tournament was happening, and I'm excited to watch
Yeah,
it.
sometimes like ABC will reach out and they'll say, hey, can we get somebody from 710 ESPN to talk about whatever topic it is? So you end up doing some TV, and I know you.
Paging Dr. Bataki.
We're gonna break that card today.
Yeah,
I'm
these
just
are gonna
telling
be going
you.
a lot. You know how they'll reach out and they'll say, can we get Travis to come on and do a quick little Zoom?
Sure.
We want to air it. And this one's going to be about the in-season tournament. I swear if you were on one of those later today and it's like, I'm so excited. This thing is so good. I've been thinking about this thing all morning. The Final Four has the Pelicans, the Lakers, the Bucks, and the Pacers.
Let's not get crazy. I said that I remembered that it was on.
Yeah, but the fact that that was enough for me to say Travis is a proponent and absolutely loves the in-season tournament.
I would watch anyway because I watch the games.
Yeah.
But this was one of those. Now that we're here.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten to the second to last step of this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, let's just go ahead and win the whole thing. Why not? What's the downside?
I think you're the right person to analyze this. In-season tournament, initially when the idea came out, it's very safe. No one knew what the hell was going on.
Uh-huh.
Everyone was very confused. The play-in tournament, it's easy. Okay, hey, so 7 will play 10, 8 will play 9. That's how you get in. We get it.
And
Yep.
there was something on the line
Some
in
mistake
that.
here.
You get to go to the playoffs or not.
Yes.
That's
So-
important.
So that one was an easy one to comprehend, and that one was an easy one that you could look back and say, well, that was incredibly successful because towards the end of the season, we're actually looking at the bottom of the standings and not the top of the standings to see who's going to get in. In-season tournament, all that stuff. You're the perfect person to ask about this because not only were you hesitant, which I was too, but I think also you kept emphasizing, I need something on the line.
Still
and
do.
if I don't have something on the line, but just on the outside looking in and take your own personal interest in it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's been a lot more successful than you thought it was going to be? The buzz, the this, the that?
Generally speaking, yes. I think that people are more excited about it than I thought they would have been. Me personally,
And the players too?
yeah. Again, the games are good, and I think that's the end of the day what they were trying to accomplish. The goal of this by Adam Silver or whoever's brainchild this was not, hey, let's create an award, a trophy, a championship out of thin air that everybody's going to get really excited about and we can sell and promote and do all these things. It was more of, We need to find a way to make basketball in November and early December
A conversation.
far more interesting than it's been. I think
Aside
it's
from
been,
NBA fans.
right.
Yeah.
I think that's been successful. Had the Lakers lost to the Suns on, was it Tuesday night?
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been dying to see the Suns and the Pelicans. I'm
So
almost
it could be
positive.
more that it's just that the Lakers
It's
are
the
in it.
the Lakers are in it, and there's a little extra juice to it. If the Lakers win, I'm excited. If the Lakers lose to New Orleans tonight,
Yeah.
I'm done. It's not the tournament. It's the tournament plus the fact that the Lakers are in it that has my attention.
I was talking to Travis yesterday, and I told him this. I was watching the game against the Suns on Tuesday, and Brenda's like, "Oh, you're really into this one today?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Well, how come? How come the court looks different?" And I had to explain to her what it was like, and she said, "How come you're into this one, but you weren't into the ones before?" And I said, "Look, my little brother plays baseball, and when he goes and plays in a tournament, I get into it. I get excited. Is it meaningless? Maybe for me, but for somebody like him, it means something to him." So then I started thinking like that. I'm like, okay, maybe, these are our guys, our city. They're representing us in this tournament. Hey, why not start rooting for these guys? And that's how because I was sketched about the tournament too.
I think a lot of people were.
Right.
Yeah.
So now after watching them play, and they were actually playing, defense and hard.
They're playing hard,
Yeah.
which is what made it fun.
Elevated the product a little bit.
If it were played like a non-tournament game, then it's whatever. You can paint the courts whatever color you want.
It's just
You
another
can-
game.
It's just
and
another
there's
game.
82 of them that you play a year.
The intensity went up. And now, how much it went up, I don't know. We could debate it all day long, but
Yeah.
it's clearly a different vibe in the building, on the court. It just feels different.
And the point that I was trying to get across to, I think you've made it known that, guys, it's not really that much different. But you're complimenting it, that it is a little bit different, that maybe, Jorge, you're talking about it with, your wife and that conversation. Mission accomplished. Like that's and listen, maybe, just maybe, if the Lakers were not in this, and let's say they weren't even in the quarterfinal, they lost in the group stage, they went 2-2 and they weren't even in the
Right.
mix. Well, we're not really talking probably that much about the tournament, but I still
point.
think it would have been
Okay.
a success.
A success for the league, sure. A success for me, not at all. That I think you just put your finger on it exactly right. If the Lakers had not even qualified for the knockout
they played
round,
the 4 and they were done.
I could not care any less. The second had they lost on Tuesday, if they lose tonight, I'm done. Like the idea of, hey, I want to see who wins I don't
Okay,
care at all.
is this just then a NBA thing? Because
Could be.
if the Lakers are out of it if they lose tonight against the Pelicans, and it's Pelicans and Bucks coming up on Saturday, the in-season tournament, I'm going to watch that game. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to sit there and watch all 4 quarters, but I'm watching. But that could just be, Al, we already have you. You're an
Yeah,
NBA guy.
yeah.
You have the NBA League Pass, that you're tuning in on random nights to see the Warriors
You
and
know
the
what it
Blazers.
is? It's the home run derby for you. I know the home run derby's silly. I know it doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like watching the guys crank home runs. It's fun
Yeah.
for me. I get why people don't, but that's fine. I think that's what it is. If you're a basketball guy, cool. I am a Laker fan. I'm not necessarily a basketball guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not watching the Pelicans play the Thunder on a Tuesday night.
Sure.
Yeah. It's fine. I'll wait till both of those teams play the Lakers.
I think they're on Wednesday.
Maybe it's Wednesday night. Yeah, but I am excited to see it tonight. And again, for almost the same reasons we talked about with the Suns. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, I'm in. Tonight it's LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, and the rest of the Pelicans. I'm in on that.
Yeah.
I want to see Zion do his thing before he shuts it down for the next 6 months.
Yep.
The clock's always ticking on that guy. So let's see.
What is your level of interest in Valanciunas?
I like that guy. I like his beard. His
Okay.
beard, right?
I'm rooting for Trey Murphy, UVA grad, so he plays for the Pelicans. But something that would have been maybe even unthinkable maybe like 10 years ago, that they're hosting this big event in Las Vegas. Like, consider how far Las Vegas as a venue for sports has come. You hosted the F1. You're gonna host the Super Bowl. You hosted the Pac-12 championship game. I'm sure will get a college football championship at some point in time.
Well, think
But
about
it's like
this.
this
Think about
hub.
this.
NHL champs.
Entertainment capital of the world, right? That's kind of been the label of Las Vegas. That was without any sports.
Right.
And then once they got a taste of a little bit of sports, they're like, cool, so why don't we go ahead and build a stadium right here. Let's build T-Mobile before the Knights are even there. Let's build I know this is more the lining of it. The Raiders are available. Let's do everything we can to bring an NFL franchise here. NBA team's coming. I mean, that's only a matter of time. But that is one of the few
Baseball's
cities
headed out there too.
That is one of the few cities that, like this,
they do
they
events.
can get everything.
It's like LA in the sense
they approve
that
everything.
If you're going to do a national championship game, you're going to do the Oscars, you're going to do whatever it is. Like we know how to throw a party out here. You know how to get everything lined up. You know how to make the venue look great. You know how to get people in and
How
out.
to handle traffic in a way.
Yeah, we do this every weekend.
But
It's not,
Trav,
Vegas
even
does
that,
it every
the
weekend,
state-
and they nail it.
The state of California, you can't get anything approved.
No. Construction. Yeah.
What I'm saying that until you get an owner that says,
I'll do it myself.
I'm Kroenke, here's $6 billion, whatever. Vegas, there's actually we all want to make this work. It's better for the city, and they go.
Well,
with
it's because their entire state
predicated on it.
they have to have people coming in and out nonstop, or it doesn't work. And gambling obviously is going to be a huge part of that. But yeah, no, it is the destination. They're going to have everything. They virtually do already. The only thing really missing is the NBA.
Yeah.
That's the last domino
that's
to
just a
fall.
clicking.
It's just a matter of time.
And they had Zion in like a press conference talking about, oh yeah, have you thought about the $50,000 or $500,000? And like, haha, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Imagine being young, rich, in
with
Vegas.
$500,000 to burn.
Yes,
Do you know-
that's gonna
do-
be crazy.
Do you know the people that I'd be like? I'll use LA as an example. What do they always say? Oh, the team. What team's coming? They're staying for Lakers and Clippers, so that means they're going to be here for 3 or 4 nights. It's more the road teams that come to LA that you're more concerned with. Well, they're going to party
Same
for
thing with
3
the
days.
Knights.
Imagine in Vegas, when they're going to Vegas, it's more the opposing teams that are coming to play.
Everybody likes going to Vegas. Even if you don't like Vegas, going to Vegas is still its own thing. There's food, there's drinking, there's partying, all that kind of stuff. But it's unique. It's fun, and it's always going to have an advantage for the home team, the Knights, the Raiders, whoever it may be. Football's a little different. You're just in and out. It doesn't really have a lot of that.
And before, the only thing they had was boxing, and they were selling out like this.
And a fight weekend in
you're
Las
right about
Vegas
that.
was off the chart. It was different than any other weekend,
Actually,
right?
yeah, you forgot about that. Boxing,
Yeah.
UFC,
Boxing
some
has
of the
always been
biggest
the
events
Vegas
are
thing.
down in Vegas.
When I used to go to, I've talked about this a lot. When I was working for Rome, we used to go cover all the fights in Vegas, whether it was a Tyson fight, Holyfield, De La Hoya, Pernell Whitaker,
Lennox Lewis.
We were in Vegas 7-8 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
We went a lot to cover the fights. And the cabbies, the bellhops, all these, like they would make their year on those weekends because it was so much different. And now you have an event every single week, just about. And if it's like Golden Knights against the San Jose Sharks, people come into town for that. I've done that. I went to Vegas for a Ducks game because I wanted to see the whole show. My son's a Ducks fan. Let's go do it. It was awesome. And they put on a show, and I'd go back in a second. They're going to do it over and over again.
And your son saw some pretty girls. I remember that story, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was like 12 years. I think it was his 12th birthday. He had never been to Vegas before. And when you walk the Vegas Strip at night, you see things that you hadn't seen at 12 years old before for the first time.
A little bit different than Orange County.
A lot of follow-up questions. The timeline of a potential player returning and a potential player being traded, it's all happening, Slee. That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
All right, introducing Pizza Hut's new $7 Deal Lovers menu. Tons of your favorite Pizza Hut favorites starting at just $7 each. The $7 Deal Lovers menu only from Pizza Hut. Order now. Earn rewards for your next free pizza on the Pizza Hut app or at pizzahut.com. Product availability, prices, and participation vary.
The 12 days of 7.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
The 12 days days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Sliwa.
Day has the same person dropped off food at your house twice in one day? I don't
Great
know.
question.
Travis and Sliwa.
On 710 ESPN.
No. Today, you're going to start a post-game show at night for Rams.
My attitude
you're going
is
to go
fine.
against our post-game show, but you hosting both.
My
really
attitude
loves
is
it.
fine.
He actually brings it up every time now.
He's giving you
I
good
think it's a
pub.
great
I
bit.
haven't even brought
He's
it
giving
up.
you good pub.
Your voice sounds great, Trap.
It's not my best.
Where's your cough drops?
Yeah, where's your cough drops? You need the intense ones, though.
In my mouth.
I got those in the back. You
These
want the
are the-
real?
these
No,
are the
you need
ones
the.
you
I think you
recommended.
got. Those are great for every day. Now you got to go next level drop.
There's
The
like
story from
I
yesterday.
have some steroid spray.
Yeah,
You
well,
want
shoot
some?
steroids right in your throat.
I don't
story
think
from
that's a great
yesterday:
idea.
scotch and cigarettes, and Trev
Yeah, I've
was
decided I
admiring
spoke it into
somebody else.
existence.
Hey,
By
that's
the
a
way-
good night, though. Scotch cigarettes, that's a good night.
Before 25, I had a very high voice. I sounded like a child, and I think it's the cigars and probably a lot of things that went down my throat over the years.
The smoking helps a lot.
You know, the drip's the best part, as somebody once said.
Amber waves.
I think that helped the vocal cords. Meanwhile,
It was.
you ask why on 10:35 on a Thursday morning.
I was just about to.
We never ask why.
Try Bud Dry.
I did. I had no idea.
Bud Dry still around?
I
What
don't
was
believe
Bud
it
Dry?
is.
What does it mean when it was Bud Dry?
It was drier than Bud. I don't know.
Why do you want it so dry?
I don't. Well, some people prefer.
Are you going to shoot something at it
a
because his
dry
voice sounds horrible?
aftertaste.
He should.
No, you got to
maybe
open it up.
maybe
You got to
it'll
open it up.
help. No, I know how to do it.
Little
No, you don't
dry.
stick it in.
Sleep, do you prefer a
I don't-
dry champagne?
I don't like when
or
you
a
just stick
sweet
it in
one?
like that.
No, I've never
A
seen
dryer.
I've never seen it done
Me
that
too.
way.
Yeah.
What are they doing over there?
Oh, what's happened?
Anyway, meanwhile, so big night tonight in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Big night Saturday night. But there's a reason why Friday night is going to be a big night in Vegas.
Go on.
Huge.
So, this is for you, Slee. Brian Windhorst and the Hoop Collective is doing a live podcast show.
Yeah.
You would love that. That would be right up your alley, right?
That's a Sliwa special.
That is a
You'd love that.
massive Sliwa special.
I'll be listening live. What time?
It is going to show starts at 7 p.m. at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club in Vegas. Doors open at 6:30. There's going to be light appetizers,
Special
pizza,
guests?
and merch included. A lot of ESPN guests are going to
Yeah,
be there.
nice, awesome.
Cash bar available. What are you laughing about?
Nothing. Go on.
This is going to have to be air checked, and now we're going to have to edit out your laughter.
I
Is
wa-
that what you feel?
wasn't
You
laughing
feel
out
good
loud.
about that?
I was laughing quietly. You were the one that brought it to everybody's
Your
attention.
We should
voice
then
is a
just start
mess.
over.
No, we're not starting over. We're already a minute in.
Coming in Friday, 7 o'clock.
So, Slee, you would love to be at this dream evening tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
The Hoop Collective, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Would Woj be there?
Could Woj surprise
gotta be.
everybody?
Could be.
Surprise guest.
Woj bomb.
has got
Everybody's
who's
there
gonna
for the
show up.
in-season tournament.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
in between the semifinal and the final.
Now, the question is to our audience,
Yeah.
are you going to be in Vegas? Are you planning to go tonight? Maybe stay Friday night to see the Lakers on Saturday? Are you just randomly going to Vegas because you like Vegas? There's no set caller here. 877-710-ESPN. You'll thank us later, Emily. If you're going to be in Vegas and you want tickets to go see Brian Windhorst, the Hoop Collective, for a live podcast show, is that what they call it?
I believe so.
Okay. At the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. Now we're going to have to edit that out, too.
We'll just cut it. That's an easy one.
Yeah,
to
but I
fix.
don't like to stumble. My mom used to hit me
Say
with
it
a
again.
ruler if I stumbled.
Wooden spoon or a ruler?
Ruler. She'd just be like, honey, you don't need to say or stumble.
Whack.
Not a whack, just a little tap.
Tap.
Honey.
A correction.
Honey. Sweetheart.
A redirection, maybe, if you will.
And she made me read in front of her, too.
This is all good for the air check.
No, they like that. The people that are listening want to know more. They don't mind that part. They don't like Travis. Anyway, tomorrow
Love
night at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club, Corporate Greg might fly in for it.
I could. It's possible.
I could see it happening.
I think me and Slee should fly in
Yeah.
tomorrow.
What's the name of your podcast? Hoop Talk.
Hoops Talk.
Hoops Talk. This isn't Hoops Talk. This is the Hoop Collective.
Yeah,
With
it
Brian
is.
Windhorst.
That's correct.
So you could be there. 877-710-ESPN. Now, let's be clear here. We've got tickets for you to go. But you already got to be in Vegas or planning to go to Vegas tomorrow for this very special ESPN
There's going to be a
event.
lot
For
of
the Hoop
Laker
Collective
fans.
podcast, live and in person.
A lot of Laker fans right now.
Go ahead.
Call in right now.
Call in
who
right
are
now.
gonna go to Las
877.
Vegas.
Don't stumble. Don't
Now
step
get a
on.
chance
Don't
to
step
go.
on me. Don't need to step on me.
Oh, my God.
877-710-ESPN. 877-710-ESPN.
Only if you can go.
Right. And you're going to be in Vegas already. You're looking at us sideways, but this
I'm
is a
looking at you sideways.
I can't hear what you're saying in our ear, Jorge.
I don't want to step on you.
You're looking at us sideways, but this is a company initiative.
I'm
and when
excited.
when the red phone calls and Tommy Lamb picks it up,
Is that where it is?
We answer.
we answer and we deliver.
Can we step on Elvis? It's overrated.
Shot to the leg is.
I shot him in the leg. I could have gone. I could
No,
have
but
gone.
a shot to the leg is
feel that
also
one.
like
Just
that's
winged
a
it.
message too.
I just have to
Winged
move my face away. I don't want
No
to
thing
Well, I
shot.
don't understand why everybody's anti-Vegas. I mean,
No.
anti-Elvis.
I'm not anti-Elvis.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
Why do you rip him?
He had
I've
two
never-
movies come out in the past 2 years.
I've
He had
never heard
Elvis
such
and he
a
had
strong
Priscilla.
opinion.
He's got a
on
strong
Elvis.
opinion on this.
it is a strong
What
opinion.
don't you like about Elvis?
He is completely overrated. He stole all of his entire act. He stole everything.
lot of people did.
He's not the first or last to do that.
Go listen to Tony Bruno 20 years ago. It might sound familiar.
Are you saying you're stealing acts?
Yeah. JT the Brick came up with Gutless, not me.
You're the Elvis
Match
of the radio.
his intensity.
Yeah,
Chris.
as long as the check's clear, I don't care. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. The Hoops Collective live podcast tomorrow night in Vegas at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club. If you're going to be in Vegas, we could hook you up with tickets, Jack.
There you go.
877-710-ESPN. What do you got? So you excited for today?
I think Tim Bontemps. I think Tim McMahon. They're also a part of that.
But not
too.
Johan Buhan.
Jovan, no, it's athletic.
Oh, can't have Johan Buhan.
He's not part of the
What if
collective.
What if we give Johan tickets and he sneaks them in and then he just jumps on stage
You think Zach Lowe will
and
be there?
goes, Alan Sliwa sent me. Alan Sliwa sent me.
Will do his own.
Do you have guests on the Hoops Talk podcast?
No.
Oh, you don't have that technology over at the house?
Have it. I just haven't done it.
I want to be a guest.
And it's not like
Don't do it.
technology
Don't do
on
it.
the house. It's just a program that
Why don't-
allows
how about this?
somebody
It's a
else
trap.
to come on.
It's a trap.
Can Beto be a guest on your live podcast and we can put it on the air together?
While
like a
there's not-
simulcast.
While that one's going too. It's interesting. It's interesting. You're a thinker.
He's an innovator.
Yeah, big time.
He's always innovating.
What
I
happened
am.
to the post after the post?
I like to reimagine
Well, there's no
things.
post after the post. How's there going to be a post after the post?
You can do the post after the post after the post.
It's a triple post night.
I was just going to beat me to it.
He loves it.
By the way, Beto joined Cappy and I's Drive Live from the set last night.
There you go.
I saw that.
And Geeter and Brez jumped in on our live.
Nice.
They're like, are you guys driving? We're like, yeah. Jack. And then Sam Pines, Tommy, and Nick Riley joined from their secret meeting.
Oh, did they have a
joined the
secret
live.
meeting?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because Cappy's talking about the ESPN LA suite a lot. And the listeners are like, where's our invite? And I'm like, Cappy, what are you doing? We can't invite people to our suite. That's a
he's-
Sam Pines decision.
It sure
the way
is.
he's promoted too. I mean, he's not wrong. It's like get
He
out
keeps
to a
going, if
Laker
you ever get
game.
invited, you have
Yep.
to go. Well,
That's
we
not
don't invite
happening.
people.
Yeah, well, they're working during the Laker games too. No,
Who?
Geeter and
No, our
Brett.
listeners are saying this. They feel offended.
How long did you guys live stream for?
40 minutes.
Wow.
Pretty good. It's
What
a
were
fun
the
time.
topics? Tell us what was going on.
Well, it got a little rowdy yesterday on the show between me and the COT. Some days I'm just kind of bored, and you know what happens when I get bored, Travis.
It's not good.
No. And I started to just throw fireworks, and then I'm fighting with them on Twitter while training DeAndre. It was a fun day for me.
How's DeAndre doing?
He's doing really well.
Good.
He's a
He's
quick
gonna
study.
kill it. Yeah,
Good.
He's a quick study.
Good.
He
Did
could,
the starter pack of headphones and pens?
no, it helped him. I mean, he could be hosting 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in a year.
Sure.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's a quick study.
Mario could easily be doing the imaging, I think, in like 6
No,
months.
he prefers commercial production, actually. We've had the conversation.
Travis and DeAndre, 10-1.
No, I was going to say DeAndre and Slee.
DeAndre and Slee.
D-Slee.
No, Travis.
Well,
Travis.
we call him Producer D.
Hoops talk.
Travis driving.
You know,
Anyway, so that was part of the topic. Then I'm very concerned about my beard. It's getting. I feel like it's growing. It's too bushy, but
It's unruly.
people say it looks good. It looks good on camera.
Okay.
And when you grow it out, there's less gray. Actually, oddly enough, I don't know why. So that was a topic. Then
you have to get the oil. Do you have oil?
oh,
for
I
your
oil
beard?
and I balm this thing. Bam!
Did you guys eat it all?
No,
You guys were doing the
because we're watching the
pizza
thing.
and
We're
the
watching.
this.
Did you walk?
We walked yesterday morning.
Okay.
We're watching it. So no, we didn't do a road pie. And then we talked to a few listeners that jump on. Then Beto jumped on. Then Sam and Tommy and Nick jumped on. And by that, we were at the train station.
Have
It
you
was a
ever
full
jumped
night.
on Slee? Have you been on his?
I
lives?
have yet to be invited.
Done it a
Trav,
couple
have you been
times.
invited?
Do you want to jump on?
No one. We don't get invited.
Tell me when. I'm in.
I will actually.
Okay.
You go on. You watch the live stream, and he says, "Hey, Slee, jump on."
We're very disappointed in you that you didn't allow us to dump truck you yesterday.
I thought you wanted them
Because we showed DeMarco, who was doing the show for Sedano.
Yeah.
We showed him the dump truck video, and then we dump trucked him.
Okay, I gotta be honest.
You should try to. You dump truck DeMarco?
Well, he was sitting down.
Oh, I was gonna say that's a
DeMarco
lot
didn't
to
move.
ask.
Yeah, DeMarco
DeMarco's a
didn't
big
move.
guy.
DeMarco's got his feet stable. It still is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen Mason's.
The ping pong.
His neck just snap. I told him I would have walked in. With a brace on the next day, and I would have brought Imrani with me.
So, guys, we know that there's John Rahm breaking news today, which
Did
I
he
don't
sign?
understand.
Did he do it?
What's the difference anymore between PJ and Liv? I thought they were one.
They're not.
Oh.
They basically just agreed to stop suing each other as the genesis of the agreement, and that they would try to find a way to work together in the future, which may or may not ever happen, but they're still entirely separate leagues.
So that was breaking news today, which not everybody.
Did he get to 6?
No. There's some reports saying 5. There's some reports saying 3. ESPN just sent out a
good.
breaking news saying 3, which
Okay.
ain't bad. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it's all right.
But imagine tomorrow night if the Ohtani breaking news happens and Corporate Greg and I are scrambling saying we're going live for the next 12 hours. I
doing
expect that we can reach out to you guys tomorrow night or early Saturday morning.
Yes,
Try
Travis.
me.
Travis will be available. If Ohtani signs tomorrow, and we called you at like 10
No,
o'clock in
you
the
would be
morning.
calling. I'd be asleep.
Yeah. I called you at 10 o'clock to say, hey, come on, we're going to talk about
Tomorrow
Ohtani.
night?
If it happens,
Well, no, or Saturday.
well, I was
going
gonna say because you
I'd
said
be
if it
in on
happens
Ohtani.
tomorrow morning
Yeah.
at 10 a.m., we're good.
Saturday. It feels
We're
like
covered.
Friday. Doesn't it feel
We're
like
covered.
Friday today?
Friday and
It
I'm in
does.
love, by the way.
It does.
It does feel like Friday.
Yeah, I
feel
would
like
be
it's
in
the
on
weekend.
Ohtani.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
of course you would.
Quick
Yeah.
Ohtani question.
Sure.
Is it now just a surprise? The only surprise left is if he doesn't sign with the Dodgers.
You know
I
what I'm
really,
waiting
really
for?
It
do
just makes the
believe
most
that.
sense all the way around.
I'm waiting for him to go to Canada because it would be a good bit of just playing the Canadian national anthem for a week.
And we can
And
blame
he
Canada.
openly comes out and says, I was going to be a Dodger.
Dave
But Dave Roberts.
That is your dream
That
scenario.
is like a dream that is so beautiful.
Nothing would, like, if you were going to concoct in a laboratory the thing that would be your pinnacle of sports, it would be that.
You
And
could
then,
retire after that moment.
After, much like the Hoop Collective podcast will do a live show, I will do a live show in which I will have 100 fans and 100 bobbleheads. And we will all simultaneously bust a bobblehead.
It actually is a fireable offense. If that's the reason that it happens, that's a
That's
fireable
what
offense.
finally got him.
It would
It's a
be
fireable
apropos
offense.
that's what actually finally took him out.
Well,
it's not going to. I
it's
think
not-
they're going to
it's-
get him.
but
I don't
the
think
fact-
that is the reason he wouldn't sign.
Did
but
you say you don't think they're going to get him?
I do think they're going to
okay.
get him.
If
I think it's
that's
just
the
a matter of
reason,
time.
though,
But-
it's a fireable offense.
But here's what I
And
know for
Ohtani
sure.
says-
Yeah, because I was there, but Dave screwed it up.
I have
We
a
gave him
feeling
one warning. We
that-
could have told
that-
him
that
one
he
thing.
won't say the name of his dog out loud. I don't think he's going to break down the rationale for why he decides to go where he's going to go. But I know
I'm already
for
putting
a
it in the
fact-
water that it's because Dave said something. That if he
for
doesn't
a
come here.
fact, that was not a pre-planned thing. That was not something that the Dodgers liked. That was not something that was, hey, this is part of our master plan. We'll be the first. This was a
mistake.
Bigger.
And that's
this
why
was a massive you-know-what that the team went, seriously?
When
and
did
that's
that
why
happen?
seriously.
When
you
did
see
that
he
happen?
did like a video show with Vassay over there at our friends across the street to explain. And it's no big deal.
Andrew Friedman's quote in the Times today was, we got together and talked about
Chris,
that. We're good.
When did
like,
that
in
happen?
other words, I told him to STFU.
That
right?
presser happened on Tuesday.
Right.
Okay.
He was calling Vassay 10 minutes later.
Still on the front of LA Times on the sports section.
Every sports
it's
show.
Still a photo of Dave Roberts and saying that, hopefully this doesn't.
The best part of this,
It's the only thing to talk about. There's nothing else out there.
when they got bounced in the playoffs, everybody's like, oh, no, this is the media's true feelings about it. Now it's coming out. How everybody really feels about him, and they're using this to continuously swipe at him because they know how they feel. They're just afraid to say it. They're not going to break a bobblehead in the Dodgers press room.
I don't think that's the place for
free
that.
Dodger dog privileges might go away.
We should get you a credential and just have you do it in the.
Can you imagine?
Just walk in with a mallet and a bobblehead.
Be like, Dave, hey.
And then,
hey, Ben Mauer, good to see you again.
but then churn in your credentials.
Oh, I think it'll be taken away pretty quickly.
You're like, mission accomplished. I'm leaving now.
It's like, I'll do this quickly. I know we got to go. But Mike Missinelli, big Philadelphia sports radio host, when I was working with him or consulting that station, Andy Reid banned him, got him banned. He wore a mask. And this is during the period where they kept losing NFC championship games. He wore a mask and got in somehow. I don't know how. Pulled the mask off live in a presser and said, Coach! And Andy goes, hey, Mike, what's up? This is the final time, obviously, he was ever in the press room. And, of course, Mike was a famous writer for the Philly Inquirer as well. So, again, what would the Dodgers, what would Dave Roberts do if he had to deal with the Philly and New York media? Oh, he would just do the same thing.
They would just get a new guy to stand up there and pretend that he's making the decisions year after year after year, right?
Yeah.
Because is this really still the narrative? Yeah, because it's true. That's why it's the narrative.
We kept pushing. I like it. I don't know. I don't know how many spots we got here, but
We got a few. Plus, we got Hey Foo, did you see? Coming up next is Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, Sierra Subaru of Monrovia, about 6 months now. Been talking about what Sierra Subaru of Monrovia is doing, really just within the community. It's one of the things I think is such a great thing about this partnership. Now, during the 2023 Subaru Share the Love event, when you purchase or lease a new Subaru at Sierra Subaru of Monrovia, Subaru will donate $250 to the charity of your choice. The ASPCA, Make-A-Wish, Meals on Wheels, or the National Park Foundation. Go to sierrasubaru.com or visit them just off the 210 and 605 freeway. Go see for yourself how to share the love with Sierra Subaru of Monrovia this holiday season.
Coming up to
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
All right, guys, it's officially back. Fifth Row Fridays presented by BBGO.
That's the official game day snack of the Lakers, by the way. And this is the best thing we give away. Fifth row seats to a Laker game. How many times do people come up to us and say, hey, give me Laker tickets?
Yes.
We don't have them. I don't even have them, but you can win them if you listen every day.
And these seats are better than the seats that you and Michael have, right?
15 rows better.
Yeah.
Michael and I are like row 20. So here's how you win. You listen every day to all the shows and take notes. If you can answer 5 questions about what happened on the show that day, you're eligible to win.
And don't forget, on Fridays, your chance to call in all 5 right answers, and you are in the fifth row at Crypto.com Arena for a Lakers game.
For free!
Thursdays.
Hey, did you see that sky today?
Did you guys see that?
Basically, the days we don't do Ask Slee, we do this thing. It's called Hey, Did You See?
Did you see that? I saw it. I did it.
Did you see the memo about this?
I mean, I'm excited. You can tell by my read. Hey, did you see?
So, hey, did you happen to see?
It's time for Hey, Did You See?
Hey, man, did you touch my drum set?
Have you read this?
Right now on Travis and Sliwa.
We got food.
All right, folks, we got to make it quick here. So I just somebody just sent me this, and they're grossed out about it. So the next time you go to Crypto.com Arena, you might be drinking beer out of a plastic cup that somebody else drank out of prior to you. They're doing this. They're testing this out during the Depeche Mode concert, December 15th and the 17th.
Okay.
The whole concept is basically, I don't think it's gross because it's basically what we do when we go to a bar, except it's out of a glass
Or restaurant.
or restaurant. So they're doing this test just to see. It's a company who's joining forces with.
So it's not they recycle the plastic. They actually recycle the actual cup itself.
They take the cup and they're
clean
gonna
it.
take it to the back. They're gonna wash it.
Yep.
That's perfectly fine, right?
I think
There's
so.
nothing wrong with that.
I'm confused. What's the test? Is the test like, hey, let's find out if people got sick? Like, what's the test?
People ended up in the emergency
Because
room.
the scale is so much different than a restaurant. The scale
Correct.
of having to wash all these dishes of cups.
Okay,
is-
can I let me
Adds a layer of work that wasn't there.
Before you ask, this is how it works. They use plastic cups that are collected specifically marked. There's cups that they're gonna put bins out there.
Yes.
You're gonna buy these cups, and you're gonna have to, just like when you go to like a movie theater with 3D glasses.
3D glass. I was
You
just gonna
put
say
them
the same
back
thing.
into a bin, and then they're gonna wash them. And next time you order, there's 20,000 people in the arena. You're gonna be drinking out of a cup that somebody or maybe 3 other people drank out of.
That I'm 100% okay with that. Right. My fear, my only like reservation on it was they're not going to have like the custodial staff go and like collect cups off the ground.
No.
Like I don't want that because God only knows what people are tracking in
Correct.
there. But if to your point, it's a restaurant.
Right.
That fork you're eating off of.
Yep.
Hundreds of other people have put that
Exactly.
fork in their mouth. They wash them. It's fine. It's cool. We're all good.
Those types of things, I don't really have a big issue with. I think if there's a ways to be more, if it's just
Enviro.
Yeah, the problem is it's probably more just, I don't know how much of it is environmental, how much of it is just we're
Cost.
saving a lot more money by doing it. But I'm okay with it as long as there is some benefits from that perspective.
Are they saving money because they have to have the human cost of people that are the dishwashers? And
Yeah, but
that
okay,
adds
so you
up.
hire a few extra dishwashers,
Yeah.
right? But you don't have to buy 20,000 new cups every other night.
That's right. I think my one hang up is scale. You know, obviously the scale of a restaurant in cleaning their dishes is very different than an entire stadium cleaning their dishes. So that's why I think why they might want to test it out.
I thought it was going to be like, hey, I just finished my beer, and now you take your cup and give it to the stranger to your
Pass
right,
it on.
and they're
Right.
going to go fill
Yeah.
up.
Man, I mean, at some point, I mean, when you're with your homies, you take a sip out of a Corona. You
Sure
give it to everybody. You don't wipe it, do you? But it's your homie. I'm not
Depends
gonna do that
on
with
who
a
the homie
stranger.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If
right.
it's like, you know,
And then you guys are
if it's
getting
me
on
and
me
you,
for
I'm not
the-
gonna wipe it. You know.
There are some guys I wouldn't give it a second thought. I'll take a pull right off that bottle. And there's
Exactly.
some other guys, you know what? You got any Lysol that have me hose down this Pacifico before I take a pull off?
You guys
of
were
it?
getting on me for the fishbowl, the sharing of the straws. Okay.
But that's you're drinking the same drink. Like if Al and I got a big beer,
Yeah.
if he drank a beer and gave me the glass after, that's fine. But drinking out of the same beer at the same time is not. I don't want to do that with you, Al. I like you, buddy. I know, but I don't want to do that with you.
So if you go to the Depeche Mode concert, you know, on the 15th, call us up. Let us know how the
Yeah.
whole
Beer tastes a little
thing-
different.
Did you eat some cinnamon gum? Do you have some Big Red? I think the guy that had this before me was a big
lipstick on
Big
my,
Red
cup.
fan for
How
sure.
different is this gonna be?
Is Yates coming on next?
Yeah, he's going to call in from the winter meetings in Nashville.
All right, so he's on the road. He's going to fill us in on what's been going on in Nashville. Winter meeting's getting close to wrapping up. Big deal that did go down yesterday. Juan Soto, sorry, buddy. He's a New York Yankee right now. The good news is no one's ever heard of any of the guys you got back. So
Yeah, that's great.
exciting.
That's
That's
good.
coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
The Bruins are
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Might be the supercut of all the home runs.
I can play that too.
Yeah, we'll get to that coming up in just a little bit. Juan Soto is a New York Yankee. The Yankees get back a handful of prospects along the way, kind of projected as back-end rotation guys potentially, maybe some backup staffers along the way depending on who you have. But Juan Soto is headed to New York. That's the first big domino of the winter meetings. Our pal Clinton Yates is in Nashville for the winter meetings. Before we get to the baseball, Yates, how's Nashville? You enjoying it?
Nashville's doing well. I'm currently sitting outside of a coffee shop in honor of you, Travis, drinking a beer, burning a heater before I head to the airport. Man, you sound like you had a rough one. You all right, buddy?
Yeah,
I wish.
It's not, just so you know, if his voice is not beer, it's scotch.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday, Yates. There was a guy that I work with on an ABC affiliate in Santa Barbara, my first kind of quasi job in real media. I was an intern at KEYT, and the anchor of the evening news in Santa Barbara had this unbelievable pipes, right? Just this, just deep and resonant and commanding. And I said to him, have you always had that voice? Have you always sounded like that? And he goes, no, but I've been smoking cigarettes and drinking scotch for 55 years, and that seems to have done the trick. Like, okay,
I mean,
I'm on the program.
It's not just true. It's also a win in Nashville kind of thing. So, you know what? I'm down with it. And speaking of Nashville, I just wanted to say, those of you who know me know that I actually report about baseball, and I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I'm just saying that I be at these meetings. So I've been at the winter meetings for the past week, and I got to tell you, man, for all the shots that people want to throw at Dave Roberts and what people are sort of assuming is real versus what is not real, I was absolutely there when Gomes was talking about the aftermath of it, and it was awkward. All right.
Yes.
I know you said on good authority, Travis, that you know that that's a problem. Oh, yeah. Personal experience on the ground reporting. I could see it with my eyeballs. It was weird, for sure.
Well, yeah, let's just stay with that for a quick second here. I'm making the argument that at this point for me, there is the only surprise I think left on the Shohei front is if Shohei decided to go to Toronto or he went to Anaheim. I'm just going with my gut here and what it sounds like. It's just that Shohei to the Dodgers is not a surprise to me anymore. everything that happened with Dave Roberts and the conversation and that dialogue, that's not. Do you think that would actually have an effect on Shohei making his decision? Do you think there's any risk there?
I don't necessarily know if it's what Dave said that would have an effect, but to quote my man Jorge Castillo of the LA Times, who wrote, the initial column that I think, represented what a lot of people felt in terms of the opportunity missed with Shohei on all this. He also wrote a story about how whatever you want to believe of what's real, the messaging coming from Dave is very different from the messaging coming from the front office. And if that is what, for whatever reason, in terms of communication is the issue that Ohtani's camp has, then okay. It's not necessarily about just what was said. It's about kind of the reaction around all of that. But also, I want to quickly remind you guys, remember I told you all last week, I still think he's picking between the two LA teams. The fact that the Halos are still in this conversation at all is probably the biggest surprise to me in terms of what the news value is, although I believe it's still very much real, and I believe it the whole time.
I think it's real. I think it's unlikely that he does something other than the Dodgers at this point. But, like we've talked about a million times, until it's done, it's not done. I keep coming back to the Dave thing and talking to the folks that I've talked to. This was just no one knew why he did what he did, because even his explanation of, well, I didn't want to lie. No one's asking you to lie. Did you meet with Shohei? I don't want to talk about that. That's not a lie. That's just, I'm not talking about that. You're
right. You're right, Travis, in that regard, in that, no, it's not a lie. But I think what he meant in his context was more so the concept of general dishonesty, which is that, a half-truth and skating around the reality.
But is that what that is, Clinton? Because I understand what you're getting at, and I understand the distinction. But the idea of, hey, guys, I'm not talking about that. Next topic. What do you got? What else you got?
I think what he was getting at is, I'm tired of not talking about it. I'll say this, Travis. There were a lot of people in that room and around Nashville that were like, bravo, Dave, for finally saying
You know who
something
wasn't
like
saying that? The other guys that wear LA on their chest.
I get that, but here's what I'm saying, Travis. There was an element of, what are we even doing here? Why is this so much of a secret to begin with? These random rules of engagement created by Ohtani and his camp are not necessary to anything. And if Dave as a manager is going to say, you know what, I'm just not playing that game, I understand that sort of independently of whatever secrecy vow was agreed to amongst either the Dodgers front office or any other team. So he got a little bit more respect than I think people might have thought for actually doing that among people who were just like, yeah, this is already too much. Can somebody finally be real for once?
So, Yates, I think the ridiculousness of the whole thing is a separate conversation, and I don't disagree. It is ridiculous. It really, truly is. To have free agency and don't you dare tell anybody what teams we met with, and don't you dare give any details or any of that stuff. Like, think about the world we live in today and how quick and instant things can come out and social media and everything else. I think that's a separate conversation. I agree that's ridiculous. But part of Dave Roberts' job in this situation is whatever I can do to land one of the greatest players we've ever seen. That's part of his job as well, and I think he failed at that. I get the respect. I get the other people appreciated it, but that's not part of your job is to go out there and I guess maybe I don't think it's going to hurt their chances, but at least even put it into question.
But which way is it going to be, Slee? Is it part of his job to be the ambassador for the team? Is it part of his job to indicate that he's the one that may or may not pull every string, and then we turn around and say at the same time that Dave Roberts is hamstrung as a manager of the actual baseball team, which is his actual job? Like, it's very conflicting when you think about it that way. Like, I get it. All of a sudden, Dave feels like he's turning on the franchise, but at the same time, if his job is to manage the team, I think there's also a part of him that has to be responsible and communicative of the people that are, already on the team of which he is a member. And I think that this is an underrated element in what's going on with the Ohtani situation, which is that this much airspace being taken up, if you go into a locker room, any locker room, no matter the makeup of it, whether it's a young team, whether it's a team laden with veterans like this squad is, there's going to be an effect once he actually lands. And I do think that there is a small element of this where Dave's saying, listen, we're already a fully functioning baseball team as far as we're concerned, because I'm the one that does the work to make sure that that happens. And he was defending that a little bit as much as he was anything that had to do with the, oh my God, Ohtani, will you please come to our team?
Clinton Yates joining us from Nashville, where the winter meetings are getting ready to wrap up here in the next couple of days. What did you make of the Soto deal? We knew that it was probably going to happen. We knew that the Yankees were probably the most likely destination for him to end up on. It got done yesterday. And, reading and talking to people, it feels like everybody's kind of, they both kind of got a little bit of what they were after, but nobody really kind of feels great about what happened. The Yankees got a great player, but they still have some fundamental issues that need to be addressed. He's still a free agent at the end of the year. And the Padres got some stuff back, but it wasn't nearly the haul that they got, that they gave up to get him in the first place.
Not even close. And I think this is the case of a couple front offices being engaged in a similar form of what I'll just call, quite frankly, malpractice over the last couple of years with their roster construction. But there is some belief, and I've talked to some people within the Yankees organization, that, this is a desperation move from the big league club that's going to cost the system. And sometimes that's just kind of what you have to do. Left-handed bat, he can get it out there in Yankee Stadium pretty easily, but it also creates sort of a weird backlog in the outfield. What do you do with Aaron Judge? What do you do with Giancarlo in terms of where people play? Because it's not like Juan Soto is going to play center field and Judge in center. It's just a whole kind of thing. And so I do feel that both of these teams are kind of grasping at straws a little bit and trying to get something back. And, yeah, you're right. Some people say that compromise is defined as both sides not getting what they want. And I think that's kind of where we are with this one, Trav.
I hate it. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And Yates, I think for me, obviously it's going to be more personal. But one of the things that Trav and I kept talking about was, well, just start the season with them. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It's not like the Padres still don't have a lot of talent. They were one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball last year in one-run games. Maybe it can turn around. It's not a pipe dream that they all of a sudden start winning some games that they were losing a year ago. I hate it. I understand why they had to do it, but basically what they did is they shed payroll. This just goes back to the bad contract they gave to Bogarts, the 5 more years on top of the 5 that Machado got, Cronenworth's deal, Yu Darvish's deal. You said malpractice. A.J. Preller is the GM of the Padres.
You can always fire the manager if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, well, done that 5 times already. So I think that has to do – the Juan Soto deal has more to do with all the other deals that they did that now they have to pay for.
Listen to Alan Sliwa with the hardcore baseball chalk talk. This is absolutely right. Juan Soto is the one guy who doesn't have a no-trade clause on that team, which is the reason why he's the one being dealt in an attempt to shed payroll, even though he's probably the best player of all of them. That is a flat mistake when it comes down to how you build your team. You're exactly right, Slee. South ain't doing it right. You know what I mean? And this is the price you pay. A great player, a generational player, ends up getting traded twice before he's 25, and you traded away half of your farm to get him. That can't happen if you're trying to actually compete in the big leagues.
They went for it for all the obvious reasons. Peter Seidler obviously was very sick, and this was a look, let's just roll it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have been gone probably last year had circumstances been a little bit different.
Some of these other plays, you wouldn't have signed the other contracts.
This was let's just throw it at the wall and hope that the one time you can buy a team actually works, and it didn't. When are you coming home?
I'm coming back right now. I'm getting on a plane in a couple of hours. I might see you guys tomorrow in person because I'm doing TV. But here's the last thing I'll say. One of the big pieces of news around Nashville is that finally, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree got to number 1 on the Billboard Top 100, which is unbelievable considering that song is older than I am. And Mariah Carey has been dominating the charts for that long. So that's where we are, Nashville, Music City, baby.
When is Ohtani on a team? When do we know?
I think it's going to be after the calendar year flips if it doesn't happen before the end of COB today, Travis. I just think that this is one of those scenarios that had a stage and the stage was missed, and as that stage is missed, there's no reason why I think it's going to happen anytime soon.
So either today or in January?
I think so, yeah. Bryce Harper signed when he signed in spring training. Let's not forget that either, and that worked out okay for the Phillies. So if it wasn't going to happen now, what are you going to do?
Thanks,
Time to hold your breath.
You got it,
brother.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
All right, so I want today. I don't want to wait another, third, whatever it's today. The 7th. I don't want to wait another 24 days.
Why, you don't want to just recycle the same potential conversations?
And I think that I know for sure that he's coming because I read something in the newspaper today. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
The most followed sports.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Right strategy. No. Live from LA Live on 710 ESPN.
Last week into 2 strikes. 3 he was able.
So for some context, this is Juan Soto's every home run that he's ever hit to the beat of Welcome to New York by Taylor Swift.
Boom, boom.
Why didn't they do this with Alicia Keys?
They could have.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Alicia Keys isn't quite in the zeitgeist the way that Taylor Swift is.
It's also a little bit
why.
more like separate of the beats. The beat's not the same, so I like the, it's nice.
Soto's gonna mash.
It's
in New
funny.
York. He's gonna mash.
I know you're a Padres guy. I know that you root for them, obviously, but this one hit you in a way that I have not seen you react before. You're like, no, this sucks. Like it's hitting. Like they had a terrible season last year, and I know it was, but this is like seriously, this is how this is going to go. That he was here for what, a season and a half.
Probably played 200 games.
Yeah.
So something like that.
Yeah.
Well, think about this.
And he was their best player.
Just take the last, take the last 1 year of the San Diego Padres, and listen, you're already dealing. Let's use the Dodgers as an example. There's 100 games they're already going to win before the season even starts. You know there's 100 already in the books.
Close to it.
There's a good chance you're going to have Shohei Ohtani to your team. There's a good chance that Walker Buehler, even if he doesn't start the season, it sounds like might get a little – I thought I read something there. Buehler's going to eventually come back. Some of these other guys like Bobby Miller is going to get – this is their second goal. There's not going to be as many surprises.
He's going to be really good next year.
Right. Like, think about that. Of course these guys are.
Yeah.
they're already in the market of looking at some other potential starting pitchers out there. And Andrew Friedman's been on the record saying whether we get him in free agency or we get him in a trade, they're obviously going to be very active. The Diamondbacks just went to the World Series.
They won the pennant.
And they've been active. They just signed, who's the Tigers pitcher that they just brought in?
Rodriguez.
Okay, so they've been active. The San Francisco Giants, Bob Melvin couldn't leave the Padres quick enough.
You're right about that.
And the Padres gave him permission to go up to, obviously go up to San Francisco. I think it has more to do with there was so much optimism about the franchise 1 year ago. And then here you are, you're starting to see it all kind of unravel a little bit.
This is
in
why
front of your face.
What the Dodgers are doing right now to kind of bring this back, and why as disappointing as the last several seasons have been about them flaming out against the Padres, about them going just so quietly against Arizona, is that there's always that little bounce after it happens, right? There's that little bit of, we're going to be in it again next year. Whereas with and there's only a very small handful of teams that are in that category. Braves, Astros, Tampa, oddly enough, that we're going to be in it over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't make the disappointment hurt less, but you recover from it a little more quickly because, hey, we're right back in the middle of it again. They might get Shohei Ohtani. They might get Yamamoto. They might go out and get the most talented guys they might make a trade for Willie Adames and Corbin Burns. Like there is and even if those things don't happen, Dodgers are going to win 90 or more games next year. You know how I know? Because that's just what they do.
Yep.
And even the pieces that they have are really good pieces. Even if you didn't change a thing, it's a pretty darn good team.
Foundation.
That you've seen turn it over again and again and again. And that's why the Padre thing is, I get it. Like, if you're an Angel fan, right, you've had these two pieces. Like, you're not going to have guys like this forever and ever, and you're not taking advantage of it.
You couldn't even get to the postseason.
Nothing.
Right.
And
right.
so what happens when Ohtani leaves at the end of the week, if he does? What happens when Mike Trout, I was going to say, starts to fade? That's already happening. And now what? You just had two Ohtani's not Ohtani's like millennia, right? Like he is a guy that comes around. The last one we saw was Babe Ruth. It's an eternity. Trout is the best player that team's ever had for an extended period of time. He got nothing done with it. The Dodgers are winning. They got really good players, don't get me wrong. But they're winning with Chris Taylor and Justin Turner and Cody Bellinger. Good players. But there's not a Mike Trout in that bunch. There's not a Shohei Ohtani in that bunch. Mookie's probably in that category. But, okay, they go to the playoffs every year with Mookie. You know what I mean? It's just when you have several bites at the apple, boy, this is not going well.
You're passionate.
It happens really.
You're going to cry.
You're going to come back at it.
Yeah.
Next season in the middle of it. It's like, yeah, let's go again.
Okay.
I promise you.
Yep.
By July next year, I'm going to be believing it's going to happen all over again.
Well, of course.
I know I am.
And you should, and that's okay. Like that. I think it also says something that you have to win. There's certain ways to win, and certain franchises can't try to win the way other franchises try to win. I'll give you an example. The Oklahoma City Thunder can't do it like the Lakers, right? They have to literally do it their own way. The St. Louis Cardinals are going to run their organization different than the Mets are, different than the Yankees are. The Padres had the third highest payroll in baseball last year.
Crazy.
I guess that ultimately at the end of the day, I think they got fat and happy because everyone got paid. Nobody didn't get paid. It's tough to eat. What's the famous line? The boxer that says it's tough to wake up when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
Yeah.
Machado got paid. Cronenworth got paid. Musgrove got paid. Yu Darvish got paid. Every big player that you could think of that had some success, a little bit, all of them got paid. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but if I told you the Padres were successful, you would probably say, okay, then they probably had to have guys come up through their farm system. Those players were probably really good, that they could kind of establish whatever it was. Then they were able to spend very smart and good. I think we got a little, at least from a Padre perspective, you got a little bit like...
You tried the shortcut. Didn't work.
Which there was a reason for it.
Sure.
And I think we know what the reason was, that their owner was in really, really poor health issues and unfortunately passed away, and his goal couldn't get accomplished.
What'd you guys make of Chris Russo, Mad Dog Russo's meltdown on Ohtani. Like, this is crazy, and you're out of your mind if you give him $600 million.
He's never been in the playoffs before.
He's never been in the playoffs. What have they ever gotten out of this guy?
Yeah.
Anybody that does this is out of their bleeping mind, so on and so on. Has anybody at any point ever watched Shohei Ohtani play baseball and go, yeah, he's the problem in Anaheim? Yeah, you know why the Angels are just never getting it right?
Yeah.
Ohtani's not doing nearly enough.
Yeah.
That's never been said.
But he's also never been in the playoffs.
But okay, but
I'm just saying
what would you like for him to have done to get them in the playoffs?
There's nothing more that I don't think that he could do to get them to the playoffs.
Then the playoff thing is irrelevant.
But I'm saying
for him.
I think he should pitch back to back.
But that's what I'm saying. There literally is because the joke is, well, Mike Trout doesn't pitch. Ohtani does.
Yeah.
And he does them both at this crazy level.
Can I ask this question on the? Do you have any concern if Ohtani becomes a Dodger? Do you have any concern that he's not going to perform?
I don't.
From a baseball perspective, do you have Emily? Would you have any concern that he's not going to live up to?
We haven't seen him in the playoffs, so who knows? Okay, maybe the bigger question is, if he doesn't perform in the playoffs, is it a Dodger problem? That Shohei Ohtani is a sure thing, and if he doesn't show up in the playoffs, is the Dodgers organization is rotten in the playoffs?
That I think is kind of interesting. Like the way you put that, I think is
already
interesting.
Is a Dodger. I don't think Shohei needs to be another example.
If he shows up and offers the way that Freddie did, and or Freddie got an infield hit. Let me not forget
to
that.
Slide for it.
Yeah, it was close. Bang bang play. Mookie offers. Like
Mm-hmm.
if that happens, then I think what you're saying, Em, is exactly right, which is, hey, what the hell is going on in there if they cut the legs off of Shohei Ohtani? I think the only risk in the Ohtani thing, I think there's zero business risk. That whatever comes in from international markets will more than cover the cost of what you're paying him in salary.
In LA.
Forget it. So from a business perspective, it's as close to a sure thing as you can get. From an offensive perspective, he's as close to a sure thing as you can get. He can run, he can hit, he hits for power, all of these things.
Yeah.
He's just not going to forget how to hit. But making up numbers, at $600 million.
Yep.
What if he never pitches like that again? That, I think, is an interest. Like, look, you're buying the best slugger in baseball, but you're buying Tyler Anderson on the mound. It's not out of the question.
You pay him more than you pay Aaron Judge because you can get
Perhaps.
someone else. Or, maybe, I think we floated this up before, maybe Ohtani's role changes. Maybe he turns into a reliever. Maybe he turns into a closer.
I don't think he wants to be that, right?
I don't think he does,
Sounds
but
like
I'm just...
No, I think that's way down the road if that's ultimately
yeah.
what happened. I think that he will give it every
Propose
effort
it to
to
Dave.
become...
Dave he'll play out every scenario
he
for
will.
you.
But no, I think he will turn to pitching. We really the information on guys that have had that procedure twice is virtually non-existent. Nathan Eovaldi is the best case scenario, so good for him. If he turns back into Nathan Eovaldi, it's pretty darn good. Just won the World Series.
Yeah.
But the only risk is you just paid $60 million a year for a DH.
Okay,
that's the risk, and it's the surest thing at DH and the business thing and the fan thing. It's a grand slam.
I want to go back to something you mentioned about what if he doesn't perform in the playoffs. I think the what if is like, what if you could have had similar questions to any player, any athlete that's going to move, and especially if it's going to a team that's had such terrible experiences, I guess you want to call it, in the postseason. But I'll play it the other way. What if this is the first freaking time? The only time we've seen Shohei in a real game was the WBC, and it wasn't just the game against the United States.
No, he's
to
great
beat
the whole
Mexico
tournament. He's great the
to
whole
get
tournament.
there. He was great the whole tournament. What if he's also that missing link that just there's a buzz and a momentum that he takes? The Dodgers are the one franchise that's like, there is no hesitation to think we're going to take that risk, we're going to take that chance, because ultimately the business side is going to take care of itself, and the baseball side, he's one of the greatest that's ever done it.
It's funny to hear you say that. If he shows up and they win the World Series, and he's a huge part of why they do, and fast forward to 2025 and beyond, and he shows up and he pitches the way that we've seen him pitch in the big leagues previously, and they win another World Series or two, right? Let's say in the 10 years that they sign him to, if they do, they win 2 or 3. he will very quickly ascend to one of the greatest Dodgers of all time. I know he will have been in another place, and I know that that's very rarefied air for guys that spent their entire career. You're talking Kershaw, you're talking Koufax, you're talking guys like that, right, that were here and built this whole thing in L.A. for a long period of time. But what the last 10 years have looked like, if he just comes in and instantly flips it the way that you're describing, he goes to a whole nother level. It's, oh my gosh, it's not just the two-way guy that we've never seen, but he's the key that unlocked the thing that was unlockable.
For a storied franchise. It's like doing it for the Yankees or doing it for the Red Sox or doing it for the Dodgers. It's different than doing it for the Mariners.
The Mariners.
Yeah.
Right. And because it's been a locked box for a while. It's like a totally different
It's like
thing.
if you, for example, if the Lakers went 20 years without winning an NBA title and you get somebody that gets it for you, that's Lakers getting it done for them.
But if the Lakers kept losing in the first or the second round of the playoffs, so that they're like, and they were the best team every year. It's like, what
Dodgers
keeps happening?
Actually are the best example, and it would happen to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They really are. They're the best example. 1988 was the last time they won a World Series in 162 games. Don't discredit 2020, but it was different, and they've had a lot of woes in the postseason.
And Joe Kelly's given up his number, apparently. That was reported
That's
that Joe Kelly was asked, reportedly, by the Dodgers, hey, can Shohei have 17? And reportedly, Joe Kelly's like, yeah, sure. If we get Ohtani on the team, I'd love to do it.
I want 1% of his contract.
Well, what you do is, like, there was when Eli Manning signed with the Giants, I think Jeff Fiegels was their punter. I don't know why I remember that. But he had number 10, and Eli built him a brand new kitchen in his home.
There was the Cam Newton thing where someone wanted Cam wanted that guy's number, and he said no, definitely not. It was the quarterback in front of him, and he said, okay, well, no one's going to remember you in Carolina, and no one did.
Yep. You can get.
We remember him for the story.
Don't be a good guy, Joe Kelly.
I didn't know the name.
Be the guy. Yeah, I've had this every year of my entire major league career. It's important to me, but we could probably work something out.
Hey.
Just kind of leave it sitting there.
17.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Factor Caps coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. If you get hurt in an accident, call the accident attorneys at Sweet James, 1-800-9-MILLION. You know that number. Even with my messed up voice, you know the number for Sweet James, 1-800-900-0000. Of course, you can go online at sweetjames.com. If this voice were the result of an accident, I would call Sweet James and say I was in an accident. My voice is all messed up. What are we going to do, right? This is what Sweet James does. He knows how to deal with the insurance companies. He knows how they operate. He makes sure that you get what you're entitled to. And if the insurance company won't play ball with the settlement, then they go to trial and they win 98% of the time. They have over 500 trials under their belt. This is what they do. They win, and they get you what you deserve. They get you a sense of justice, right? Insurance company's not going to do that for you. That's why you got to call Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, call the accident attorneys at Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION and sweetjames.com.
Coming up to the Black and Gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hey guys. Again, I cannot recommend Godzilla -1 anymore. My mouth was like agape the entire time watching it. The sound design is amazing.
Still there this morning. Still shocked.
Your pitch of
Yeah.
Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Oppenheimer is a really good pitch.
Yeah, and it's well acted, well paced. You're not going to be disappointed, I don't think. And if you are, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, then figure it out.
And then I'm seeing the boy.
You know what I'm going to do? When our next home game is what? The Commanders have?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Commandos.
I'm going to tell Ben
Hey,
to go tell Emily that he hated Godzilla -1.
Yep.
And see what happens.
And then I say, you have no class.
You'll go Godzilla. That stream of fire will come out of your mouth.
Atomic breath.
She'll swing at him.
Yeah.
Go through that fool.
I'm also seeing The Boy and the Heron tonight, which is the new Miyazaki movie. His first movie in 10 years from
Everybody
Studio
knows that,
Ghibli. So also going to give a review of that tomorrow. So on this day in 1963, it was the first use of replay in a game. So it was between Army Navy, and the quote said, "This is not live. Army did not score again. They replayed the Army score." So my statement is, I know we talk about this a lot where, replay takes too long, and it does this, you need it for specific reasons, but instant replay is a net good for sports. Travis, Factor Cap. Also additionally, VAR has had a whole thing in the EPL this week, messing up in VAR. So again, instant replay is a net good for sports.
I think Cap. I don't agree. I think it was one of those things that everybody started out with the best of intentions, and we've completely lost our way with it. And I think that the end result has been detrimental to these games. That the reviews. The purpose of instant replay was not to find a millisecond of footage where the ball wiggled as the player was hitting the ground. The purpose of instant replay was that ball was fouled by a foot and they called it fair. That's what it was designed to fix.
The kick wasn't good.
Right. That it was not designed for us to become, almost referees on a molecular level. It was designed to fix egregious errors, and that's not what it's done.
Al?
This is why it's cap, and I'll go cap on this as well. It's cap because the only thing we talk about with instant replays and reviews is how long it takes. So instantly, we're saying something negative right out the gate. Okay, we're not saying, oh my gosh, it saved this game or that game or whatever the case is. The other problem is it doesn't always get the call right.
Exactly.
Let me give you a great example of this in the NBA. If somebody fouls the living you-know-what out of someone's arm, but it's still the guy that got fouled, the ball went off his hands, and they review that, they're not going to call the foul. They're just going to say, well, it went off his hand. It didn't correct the call. They just did, well, we can't review this, and because we can't do this, then we can't do that. The game on Tuesday, Lakers and the Suns, that's a non-reviewable call that could have determined the game.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately at the end of the day, I think it brings up more questions than answers. The only thing I like reviews on is the way tennis does it. I don't have to do anything. This is in or out. It's a computer that is determining. Yep.
Yeah. Tennis is one of the few sports where the only really disputes are, was it in or was it out?
Yeah.
Right.
There's not a,
it's
well,
not
he fouled me.
interpretation.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no interpretation of, well, he made a football move. Okay, what does that mean?
I'd rather take
insane.
the instinct on the call and just run with it and then you got to show 35 replays to make that guy look bad. That's
I know
also
we talked
not
about this the other day. Shot clock, right? 30 seconds. If you don't know what the answer is after 30 seconds, we're moving on.
Yeah.
That's it. We're done. We looked at it. We don't know. Whatever. Call in the field stands.
Yeah, I mean, because, for example, that would have been what was for the Nickel Roby-Coleman thing.
Yeah.
30 seconds, you can understand that was a DPI.
That's interesting. Do you think most people would all say, hey, have replay or not? Do you think most people would lean towards no?
I would. I've changed my mind.
I would lean towards replay.
Yeah.
Okay. I would lean towards no, too.
Jorge?
Cap. Just because in VAR, just like you said, sometimes in soccer, VAR, they look for a fingernail. He's offsides by a fingernail. Like,
it's mostly used for offsides.
Yeah, like, come on, man. We can let a fingernail's not an advantage.
They can't because then they're saying, well, if we let a fingernail go, then there's going to be
finger,
another game.
Then it's a knee.
Yes.
Then it's a body. Then it's two. But yeah.
But also in VAR, whoever's making the call, they got to have that neutral mindset, whether, like, just call it for what it is. Don't pick and choose like, oh, just because this team has the advantage or that team has the advantage. I feel like that's what VAR does sometimes. Like they don't call it just for what it is. They pick when to call it and when not to call it. That's what hurts it.
honestly, it should be used for offsides because you can have a literal line across, and that's where the line is. And same for a goal or not. If the ball is crossed the goal, it's a goal. If it's not a goal. So anyway, on this day, that happened.
Interesting.
So,
but keep in mind, that was not the purpose of that back then.
That was just a replay.
Hey, here's a cool thing that happened. Let us show it to you again.
And that's good. Good.
That's just TV producing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a totally different conversation.
Which is also a very hard job. If you ever think about the replay operators, that's an incredibly difficult job because you have to do it so quickly and you have to do it right.
Yep.
So Gary Streisky, who works for ESPN, he's a SportsCenter anchor, and he also does a podcast with Al Duncan. They talked about the coaches in any sport that you don't want to mess with. They use a different word, but I'll say mess with. Okay, and Gary Streisky had Darvin Ham as number 1. So you would also give Darvin Ham the number 1 of coaches that you don't want to mess with. Al, Factor Cap.
Yeah, fact, I'm not messing with Darvin Ham. I'm not. And we've got a chance to be around him. By the way, nicest guy.
He's a good guy.
Incredibly nice. But that makes me even more not want to get on his bad side or something happens, something goes down. Darvin Ham is, I don't know if you saw the quote. Ime Udoka and Braun had their exchange on Saturday. He was asked about it Sunday or Monday, whatever day it was, and he's like, there ain't no around here, and he says where he's from. No, I'm not. I believe him. I'm not. That's not somebody that I want to mess with. Who's very high on that list as well? I don't want to mess with Mike Tomlin either. Those two guys.
Nope. Trev?
Tomlin's a good one. I think Sean McVay's a good one because he's fit and he's strong and he's young and he's crazy.
And he's fast.
And he's fast, right? So that would be a handful too. Mm-hmm. But I think we're sleeping on the obvious answer. Does this have to be a physical confrontation of some sort?
I would say that you don't want to mess with in general.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He would disappear you, and you'd never even know what happened. Like, hey, what happened to Sliwa? I don't know. He said something about Belichick, and he disappeared forever.
Okay. And then they move on.
Yeah. And they go, oh, yeah, right. Never mind. Mm-hmm. I wasn't asking. I was asking
never met
about
him.
Alan Hale. It wasn't Alan Sliwa. Yeah, it's a different guy. Like
now you're nervous.
There's the guys that'll beat you up. Darvin Ham's big, strong, right? And then there's guys that just gone. That's Belichick.
I was going to say Bill Belichick because the way he responds when you ask him, hey, what happened with Alan Sliwa? Oh, well, Alan, he just gives you very,
we've got the
Cincinnati.
Steelers tonight.
Exactly.
Mitch Trubisky's a very dangerous player.
So Puka Nacua, star of the Rams game on Sunday, new franchise record holder for rookie receiving yards. He got a shout out from LeBron while at the game. LeBron tweeted, let's go Puka, something in that way. And so Puka was told about it afterwards, and he said, that's so crazy. Honestly, Puka said this, if my girlfriend wasn't my wallpaper, the tweet from LeBron would be my wallpaper on my phone.
That's great.
So got me thinking, you almost never change your wallpaper on your phone or your computer. Jorge, Factor Cap.
Fact, I never do. I have a picture of Maite doing this when she was like 3 years old or 2 years old, and I love that picture ever since actually Brenda's mom took it, and since I got this phone, it's been on there, and possibly the next phone I get is going to be the same one.
Trev?
I just changed it's about a year ago. I changed it because the stuff I had was from the kids when they were really young, and so I got good pictures of all of them in their current states, and I changed it, but it had been 10 years since I'd done it prior to that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that constituted a lot, but I did just do it a year ago.
Yeah, my mom's is us at Christmas because we always take pictures on the stairs as we've gotten older. It's always a tradition. And I think she has the one from maybe 5 years ago as ours, but
like the Brady Bunch where all the sisters are lined up.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Can I
I'll
see some of those?
I'll send you. I look like trash, but
that's
sure.
okay.
Al?
It's fact, I don't. And here's a good example how I had to get my phone reset, whatever it is. You have the factory reset.
You have the factory reset, don't you?
Does Google Pixel even have wallpaper? Who knows?
Yes, Google Pixel does have wallpaper.
You are the factory setting guy is the most on-brand Sliwa thing ever.
I did have, for a while, it was me and Michelle at the Diamondbacks Padres game earlier in the year, right? And once I did the factory reset, I'm like, okay, that's...
it's fine.
It's actually funny.
Probably a nice, pretty picture of mountains or something.
No, it's not. It's literally just like nothing.
Yeah, because
That's weird.
It's like one stripe.
That's
of something.
weird. You got to change that
So
up.
I'm single, so I don't have my family on my wallpaper. So mine's just like I took a picture of palm
It's
trees.
the Travis and Sliwa Show podcast. It's just,
I took a picture.
We should take a picture for her, Slee, just special for her wallpaper.
A selfie or whatever.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna give a statement, and we can answer the other side because we're up against it. But tonight's game between the Steelers and Patriots will have the lowest over/under since 1993, the longest over/under since I've been alive, which previously was the Patriots and Bengals in Week 15. Okay, their over/under is 30.5 right now. Okay,
30.5
for the Patriots Steelers game tonight. So my statement is, you would bet the over in this game, and we can answer it on the other side.
Okay, I think I know the answer to that. And, if you're watching the game tonight, you know what else you could do, Slee?
Yeah.
You could play Prize Picks.
Oh, this is a perfect
right? You
segue.
could play Prize Picks. You can go in there and look at some statistical projections on some of the players in the game tonight. And if they're right in Vegas about the over/under total, maybe you want some unders or some less thans on the statistical projections of Prize Picks, because here's all you got to do. Pick two, get it right, win money, right? You can win up to 25 times your money if you play Prize Picks, and you're going to have a great time.
All right, Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. My picks are already in. Let's focus on that in-season semifinals. Giannis, more than or less than 34 points. I'm going to go less than. That's a lot of points. LeBron, more than or less than 27.5 points. I'll go more than on that. It takes about 60 seconds. That's it. To submit your entry, and you could get your picks in. All you got to do, go to prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/710. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100.
The 12 days of 710.
It's Michelle Smallman and the 12 days of 710. Be caller number 7 right now for your The 12 days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
The black and gold are heading to the MLS Cup Final again.
That's it, it's over. LAFC are going back to the MLS Cup Final. They are the Western Conference champions.
The reigning MLS Cup champs LAFC will defend their title as the run for the repeat just got real. It's LAFC versus Columbus Crew in the 2023 MLS Cup Final. Coverage starts Saturday at noon on 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
You get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, Sedano box, or Cappy?
Pick a holiday box in the 710 studio.
All right, that's right. Caller number 7 is on the line for the 12 days of 710. Steve Galindo in Gardena. Steve, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for listening. Are you ready to pick a holiday box in the 710 studio?
Thank you, guys. Definitely, I'm ready.
Okay, which host holiday box do you want to pick? Is it Travis? Is it Sliwa? Is it Mace? Is it Ireland? Is it Sedano? Or is it Cap?
It's going to be super hard because I love all you guys. Let me go with John.
The Ireland box.
The Ireland box. Here we go. Let's see what's inside the box. Congratulations. You win a pair of tickets to the LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk at SoFi Stadium on December 16th. Don't miss the action when UCLA battles Boise State. Suites and tickets are available now. Come early and visit the Fan Fest. Visit LABowlGame.com for more information on tickets and game day activities. Plus, you get a gift card from our friends at Islands. That's what's in the box, Jack.
All right, Steve Galindo, Gardena, congratulations, brother. You are getting a chance to go to the LA Bowl. I got one question for you. Which station takes care of you during this season of winning?
ESPN 710, baby.
The 12 days of 710.
The 12 days of 710.
It's the season of winning on 710.
Did I hear an air horn from Steve Galindo's truck right there? Is that what I heard when that was going on?
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that means basically should get 3 more boxes for that.
Yeah. Any of the
that was awesome.
I don't know why they didn't have me read that, Slee. I feel disrespected.
He used to do that on the bus, field trips.
Yeah. Remember, you go with your mom and your dad. You're on a long drive to grandma's house. You pull up next to truckers, and every once in a while, guy would let it rip.
They would. Yeah. I think I still do it.
But you can't. Yeah, as an adult, truck drivers are not doing it for adults.
No, that's weird.
Because there was so there's a show called The Curse on Showtime that's out with Nathan Fielder and Emma Stone, and one of the characters just goes up and tries to get the truck driver, and the truck driver just flips him off.
That's a good
response.
response.
Good response,
yeah,
too.
We need that. We need that.
I'm okay with that.
You win either way.
Gronk Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Boise State and UCLA.
Amazing.
Without their defensive coordinator, who is now the defensive coordinator at USC, and good on the Trojans.
Will it be over-under for the Steelers and Patriots?
So the game tonight, that the Pats and Bailey Zappi, maybe, Mac Jones, maybe, against the Steelers and Mitch Trubisky. Keep in mind, Kenny Pickett is down for a while because of an ankle injury. The over-under is 30.5, 30 and a hook.
Mm-hmm.
Lowest in 30 years.
Lowest in 30 years. You have to take the over, right?
I would take over.
Because if there's a defensive touchdown, it's almost sure to go over.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get it. The Patriots are terrible. I get it that the Steelers are playing a backup quarterback. It's the NFL. Somebody can pop a play, right?
Here's what's not going to help. Patriots last game, they lost 6-0.
6-0.
So you're basically relying on Pittsburgh to score 3/4 of the points to get there. So let's just say, Emily, is Pittsburgh going to put up 20 points tonight?
No.
They're not putting up 20.
They are putting up
17.
Okay.
What did you say?
I think they're putting up 13 or 16.
Okay.
Okay, let's go
You're
16.
halfway home.
Let's go 16.
I also have Chris Boswell as my fantasy kicker, so I hope so.
A couple of long field goals
now we
coming your
need
way.
15 from the Patriots. Now I'm actually starting to go the other way. The more that I work the
You think
math
it's
here,
under?
I'd still go over.
You have to. It's just so low.
I know.
Look, those hotels don't exist because those guys don't get the number right very often.
Right.
But you could go to the Laker game instead, right? Watch the in-season tournament semifinals tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Been trying to tell you since they announced this thing that this is something that was going to catch on. Mm-hmm. This was something that didn't need to have stakes.
I think you said, Al, you're an idiot for not getting the in-season tournament.
When Torian Prince looked at me like I was crazy when I asked him, "Are you excited for this thing?" and he looked at me like he didn't even know what it was. I told him, "Wrong, Torian. This is something that we're all going to love." For the first time since this thing was announced, I was never anti this thing. That sounded terrible. I was never like, oh, this is stupid. I don't quite get it. If there's nothing on the line, why do I care? Basketball's been better. It's been good, and it at least because the Lakers are in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if you just took the Lakers out and put the Warriors in, that's a bad example because I like watching Steph. If you took the Lakers out and put the Clippers in, I'm good, man. Knock yourself out. Go be NBA Slee, but I'm going to watch that terrible football game tonight.
Do you remember we were saying this? We were talking about how we don't know if it's going to work, but we were open to Adam Silver and the NBA trying something different.
Sure.
And
I always like trying something.
And I don't know how much that has to do also with the – well, no, I've seen Adam Silver make decisions around the NBA, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if you're giving the benefit of the doubt to some of the other commissioners around the league. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But I do feel like there was – Adam Silver specifically, there was a little bit of this, well, because he's trying to do it, because he's open to trying new ideas, not all of them work. But because they just tried something with the play-in tournament a couple years ago, hey, that seemed to work. Well, just try it. Okay, what's the worst that can happen? They don't go back and they say we tried this in-season tournament and it flops and they don't do it again. I think a lot of it also had to do with the confidence of the commissioner. I had confidence in that commissioner that he's probably coming up with something that has a good chance of working.
It works in other sports in other parts of the world, right? That this in-season tournament is like a staple of soccer. MLS, Jorge, you and I were kind of joking about it. It seems like there's a tournament inside of a tournament every week.
Three tournaments.
There's three of them, right? I know that.
But this is a big one this weekend.
It's there, right? It's there. There's always this thing inside the thing in other sports, other than in American sports.
See, in soccer, they got the main league, which is like the main season, the whole season.
Yep.
Then they get the champion of champions, whatever it is, last season's champion against this season's champion, something like that. And then they got the MLS, they got the U.S. Open Cup, the CONCACAF. It's just different tournaments, different teams, and that's what the NBA needs, I think. Bring in. I don't know.
It's made.
Yeah.
There's been
International
10
teams
good basketball games in the early part of the season that we might not have gotten otherwise. It's a win. It's a win. Whether I care about who wins them or not so much. Is it good? Yes.
Who was more excited? Emily talking about the movie she saw last night, or you driving in remembering that there's 2 games
Emily
in Vegas
more
today?
excited about Godzilla -1 because I don't know if I've ever seen anybody as excited about anything as Em was about Godzilla -1. She gave it a 5-star review. She's only done that twice previously this year.
Yes, this year.
Yes. Letterbox.
Yes.
Yes. See?
Follow me, Ehebel, HYBL.
You still need to do MTV, by the way.
I should. Yeah.
You should. It's easy. You got a podcast machine right there in front of you. There
yeah,
you go.
I do, and I've been doing lookies. I've been practicing talking to myself. It's great.
There you go. You don't have
her.
to publish them until you get the kinks worked out. Why is my voice going high all of a sudden?
Well, I think when you get very
I don't know, maybe you
passionate
should
and
stop
emotional, when you get passionate and emotional.
I think she just told me to shut up.
Well, you have moments where like
and Messi, the Messi karma.
Oh, that's what it was.
Honestly,
That's
you
what
doing
it
Messi
was,
yesterday.
bro. It couldn't have been anything else.
I have a sore throat.
And you went for 4 minutes on it.
And the in-season tournament is awesome, and Godzilla -1 is the best movie I've seen. I like monster movies and candy.
He's closer to a normal voice right now, I think.
I
with
don't
the
have
mess.
to make
the mess is.
It's just kind of sitting right there.
I will not have maybe the same amount of enthusiasm for some of these movies, but I have one movie in particular that I get as excited as that I'm probably going to draft in our draft in the next segment.
I know what it is.
Okay, Christmas movies. We got Christmas movies coming up.
So you
here.
got the first pick.
Okay.
So start doing your research. Start getting us ready for our draft of Christmas movies. I'm back, baby. Check it out. Clear your throat. No, never mind. Here it goes again. It's coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
The 2023
All right, it is Christmas time, so we're going to draft Christmas movies for our snake draft today, which is at right now, not at 12:30, Travis, just so you know.
Thank you.
It's right now, and our order is Sliwa, Travis, Emily, Jorge. We each pick 3, 12 total, because all that can fit on the graphics, right, Carlo? Yep, that's right.
You know, she's like a dog with a bone. When she decides that she's got something that she likes to stick somebody with,
Hey.
she's going to hammer you over the head with it.
We got to
It's
have...
like when you win the picks. When you win the
I don't know what you're talking about.
We like to have a call and response, and I'm assuming people in the car are also responding to what I'm saying as well. All right, Sliwa, you got your first pick overall. What is your first pick?
All right, this one's very personal. I don't think it's going to be on the top of everybody's list here, but I feel like because I have the number 1 pick, I'm not going to get it back if it comes all the way around. Home Alone is my favorite Christmas movie growing up as a kid, so I might as well just grab that with the first one, and then I won't see it again.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
1, 2, 10.
You said there just needs to be some sort of Christmas element
There
in
needs
the
to be
movie.
a scene that takes place at Christmas.
In December.
Takes place at Christmas or takes
Holiday
place with
season.
Christmas things in it?
Holiday season.
Okay. Damn. You know what I was going for, Slee?
Throw it in there.
Top Gun Maverick. Because when they go to the bar, there are Christmas lights on the bar.
That
But
does not count.
That does not count. Okay.
Unfortunately, it does not count.
This guy. That's funny.
It's Jennifer Connelly
You
in
know what I'm
another
talking about, don't you, Jorge?
I do.
Yeah.
But I wasn't looking at the lights. I was looking at the person on screen.
Well,
Is
when
there
they cut
garland?
to Tom Cruise, I'm looking around the rest of the
Okay.
bar.
This guy can look at just a regular light that goes on. Somebody turns on a lamp, and they're
Don't
like,
you
oh,
dare
here we go.
besmirch Penny Benjamin right now. So I won't
gosh.
allow it. I'll take
I would have
Christmas
allowed
Vacation.
it if there was like garland or anything,
Yeah.
but no.
There's
Okay.
Christmas
what's your pick?
Vacation.
Okay, great.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Chevy
Very, very
Chase
good one.
cutting off the top of the staircase, then bringing the giant tree with the squirrel into the
Great
house.
one.
Elaine
Great
from Seinfeld, getting the punched in the face by the squirrel when it jumps at her
Margot,
if they open
I
the
think she
door.
was in that.
The lights on the house.
Is that the
It's just-
turkey
it's
that's like
terrific.
also super dry too?
Super dry.
Yeah.
It's just a little dry. Oh, there's the heart. Christmas Vacation.
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. Blankers full.
It's Christmas time. We're all in misery. So my first pick, I'm shocked that it got to me because I would have thought you would have picked it. I thought you would have picked it because we've referenced it a million times.
I was going to take
It's maybe the best Christmas movie
Yeah.
of the past 20 years. Elf.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
choice.
Yes, Elf is my top choice. It's great. It's right in my era. Has great actors in it. Peter Dinklage is in it. Amazing stuff. Jorge,
All
two
right.
picks.
It's time. All the way
knew
with
it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I knew it.
It's my number 1 pick, and since I get 2, I'm going to... Okay, so just to be clear, if I pick this, it's the whole trilogy, right?
What are you talking about?
The Santa Claus with
Yeah,
Tim Allen.
it's like the same for Home Alone. You get
Yeah.
all the Home Alones.
Okay, cool, because
Yeah.
I want to go
I
Home
only
Alone
want the
2.
first one. You can have it.
No, so I'll take Jingle All the Way as my 1, and then the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Good
as
choice.
number 2.
Okay.
Okay. I am curious if I want to go something funny, if I want to go something sweet, if I want to go something classic, and always plays for the past 100 years almost. I am going to go with
Miracle on 34th Street.
It's a Wonderful Life.
yeah, I'm gonna go with It's a Wonderful
Yeah.
Life. Actually, nope. I'm gonna take it back. I'm taking it back. I'm gonna go with A Christmas Story as my second pick because
She's really kind of like like sometimes wrestlers will have a heel turn.
Yeah.
And they go in a completely. Emily has gone complete heel.
I'm going defensive picks, and also my family does watch this every Christmas. It plays on TNT, I think, for 24 straight hours on Christmas Day. So A Christmas Story is my second pick.
If you can tell me what his little brother's name is, I will not hold it against you.
So Ralphie's little brother?
Ralphie's little brother.
I don't know.
Randy.
Okay, sorry.
You know,
I
you're
watched
not-
it.
It doesn't mean
Watch it
to
every
you
year.
what it means to some other people.
Hey, it'll
and
come
you're
up-
getting very
You'll shoot
defensive
your eye
before
out.
it's even happened. So I know that I hit the bullseye, so we'll just move on.
What grade did she get? Did he get?
It'll
for
come
that-
up in trivia.
the
She'll
paper?
lose.
C minus.
Yes.
No, you're not going to win this game with me.
I know I'm not going to win this game, but I
So don't
picked.
try.
You should have picked as your first pick.
See, she
Christmas Vacation
What
wasn't
she
coming
hasn't
back.
learned yet
Yeah.
is that when you double and triple down, that's how the other guy wins. So you just go, yeah.
Actually, I think I won because I made the pick.
All right, my turn.
Hey.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Does Maverick with the Christmas lights on the bar count?
Nope.
That
I
one
did.
counts.
I
Yeah,
counted.
that counts.
Put it in the graphic, Jorge. I did want Christmas Story. I'm going to take Bad Santa with my next one.
Oh, see, now
that was coming.
That's
that was
mean.
mine.
Yeah. That was your next one? Yeah, I'll take Bad Santa. You know what's funny about Bad Santa? Other than it's funny, there's no redemption. It's just, he's just awful. And it stays awful.
The little kid with the curly hair.
Yeah,
That's
it's just,
funny.
it's a really, really dark movie, and I enjoy it.
Al?
All right, let's go with, I got two here. I'm just going to literally make these, you can't get any more Christmas than any of these. The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay, is that a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? I know it's a Christmas movie, but it could be both.
It's both, right?
Yeah.
I think it has to be both.
I think so.
This is Halloween. That's
Yep.
the song, though.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go that. I got one more pick left. Again, I'm just gonna stay with the theme here. A Charlie Brown Christmas. It's old.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Classic.
It's like the 60s.
That
something along
cruddy
those
tree
lines.
he's got there, the little star on
But
top.
I always feel like, it's on. It makes me think of when I was a kid because it was,
Sure.
stuff like that is always on. That'll be my third pick.
All right, Trev.
So this is one of the great debates of all time, right? But I think under your criteria, it certainly qualifies. I want Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's like, is a hot dog a sandwich? Is Die Hard a Christmas
no,
movie?
I know,
Ugh.
but you said there is a Christmas party in the movie. That's why they are in the Nakatomi Tower.
Here's
Very good. That is your pick.
look of all the lists that are out there, Die Hard's on every one.
Yeah.
So
take Die Hard.
Yeah, just like I'm
Technically.
saying that people talk about if a hot dog is a sandwich over and over again. It's very fun. So
You got her feelings, Al. No, she's
not happy with you. She'll fight you.
I am going to go with the pick that is my favorite Christmas movie of all time because it has the Christmas scenes in it. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time by my favorite director. And I'm going to go Little Women, parentheses, 2019, because there's a long, prolonged Christmas scene. Bob Odenkirk's in it, plays the dad. So Little Women, 2019 is my pick. Or hey, last pick.
I did this roast for one reason and for one reason only, to settle something once and for all.
Bruce Willis.
Now, please listen very carefully. Die Hard is not a Christmas
Ooh, how do you like them apples?
Then put in Top Gun Maverick. I want one or the other.
The garland with the lights and stuff. All right, so for my third one, I'm gonna go with something I recently watched on Netflix. It's animated. It's a really, really cool movie. I watched it with my daughter. It's called Claws. It's animated. It's you guys should watch it. It's
I think I've heard. I haven't seen it.
Like
but
spelled like
really,
C-L-A-W.
No.
K-L-A-U-S.
Like Krampus.
Claws, like with a K like kilo. Sure.
Or like Krampus.
That's where your mind went first. Has me a little
I was
worried
like,
about you.
So
If I said to you, Al, say a word that starts with K, I don't think you're saying kilo.
Maybe kangaroo, something like that. I'd go with.
Yeah.
You know how they have when they're trying to like, hey, can you make sure you spell? You're on the phone with customer service, something like that. K like kilo. That they're probably not saying that when they go D like David.
Dog.
I always
D is always dog.
because I'm like, what starts with N? Nachos?
Nancy.
I don't know.
Nachos is a good
I know
one.
Nancy's the one.
yeah,
I know
Nancy's
Nancy's
the
the
one.
one, but sometimes even so, like today I've had to take 2 calls for giveaways and everything. It's like, so I'm trying to repeat back their emails to them, and I panic and I'm like, see, like what? I don't know.
So
Like
there's like a
Coke?
whole alphanumeric like
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
It's Alpha, Bravo, Delta,
The
Echo,
plain ones.
Foxtrot, Golf, all of the. You know what the one for K is?
Kilo.
Kilo.
Yeah.
It is. It is. So
You know,
that's what you meant.
The C is
Found
for
it.
Yeah.
Coke.
Yeah.
The C is for Coke.
Some ones that we left off that I know people will get back. Again, It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's a classic. I did not pick it because I picked the better one. There's a new movie that came out this year called The Holdovers, which is fantastic and great. It's going to be a classic Christmas movie. It came out this year. The Holiday, Love Actually.
Love Actually is a good choice.
Yeah. The Grinch, the Jim Carrey version or the animated version.
one.
Either one. The
You're
Rudolph the
the
Red-Nosed
one,
Reindeer.
Mr. Grinch with a greasy black peel.
Carol.
Scrooged. I love
Scrooged.
Scrooged.
Oh, yeah.
is with Bill Murray, Karen Black or Karen Allen. What's her name?
I don't know.
Karen Allen, I think.
Polar Express, White Christmas.
Polar
Like your-
Express is creepy.
It
It's
is creepy?
good, but it's creepy.
I like
Yes.
your Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's great.
All the National Lampoons.
It's great. Beverly D'Angelo is Ellen Griswold. Is there anything else I can do for you, Uncle Lewis? Tremendous choices. All right, so Shohei, Yates was on with this earlier.
Yep.
He thinks it's either going to happen today or after the first of the year. There's been this whole...
It's pretty wide range there.
Well, I guess what he's saying is that once the winter meetings are over, like baseball has our attention a little bit, right? Not a ton, but if Shohei made an announcement in the winter, I think it'll be a big splash no matter when he does it. But they're kind of missing their opportunity. Buster Olney wrote about this. I know that a lot of people have said that Shohei being as secretive as he has been in this is ultimately not good for baseball. I think that's debatable. If that's what he wants, that's what he wants.
It's a little dramatic, but okay.
Yeah, I think so too. But if you wait until after the first of the year, well, what else is happening then? You've got the college football championship. You got the NFL playoffs that basically started after the first of the year. So I don't know if there's a spot where baseball grabs it back until you wait for maybe right before spring training. I don't think it probably, because his decision affects a lot of other decisions.
Well, and I think the trickle effect of what happens, and I thought actually the Padres and the Yankees would wait on a deal. I thought the Padres would say, well, we'll wait, because if Toronto doesn't get him, then maybe that now you could put the Blue Jays and the Yankees versus each other for what a package looked like. I didn't think anything was really going to happen until Ohtani, so that wasn't the case. But something I'm going to go back to what you said. Is it good for the sport? Is it bad for I don't know. I think
I don't think it's bad.
What you're saying, I'm not going to not watch a baseball game because Ohtani didn't do it in the winter meetings, okay? But I do think that there's something.
Is it that Slee, or do you think it was more, hey, listen, you might be able to turn a NBA fan's head to get them interested in baseball for a day or two.
But they're going to do that. But the only thing I'm saying is, let's say it happens January 9th. Just pick a random date. That same person you're going to get. And I would actually make the argument, the fact that it hasn't happened yet, that there continues to be anticipation of, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
You think we would have had more anticipation if there would have been like kind of, remember when LeBron's free agency the first time he goes to Miami, he comes to L.A., like the whole process of, hey, there he is walking into the facility, and you see the general manager of this team or that team getting ready to, like just the whole pomp and circumstance, the stagecraft of it all, that we've gotten none of that. Is that bad for baseball?
This is what I think baseball writers were hoping for, and that I don't know what the changes need to be. They want it to be a frenzy. Aaron Judge last year was a little bit of a frenzy. It's like, okay, hey, we know he met with San Francisco. Wow, the Padres came in. They had a pitch to Aaron
Judge.
To Aaron Judge. Yeah, Arson Judge. But like you have those, you're not going to be, if the goal is they want like an NBA-style free agency, I don't know what needs to happen, but I do know this. In the NBA, 1 week leading up to July 1st, you can't have more chatter.
Oh, I can answer that for you.
July 1st happens, you can't have more chatter all the way for another week after that, and then things quiet down.
There are so many players in the NBA that we care about. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, go right to Giannis. There's 25 guys who say, hey, he might be on a new team in a week. You're like, okay, tell me more. If he goes here, what does it mean here? In baseball, 2.
Can I combat that?
There's Ohtani and there's Soto this year.
Can I combat that? There's buzz around Zach LaVine, Jalen Brunson. These guys aren't big names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that
there's buzz in NBA circles for that stuff. I don't think there's sports buzz for Zach LaVine. I think there's NBA buzz.
Or maybe the Zach LaVine buzz is the fact that he's tied around the Lakers.
Could
That's
be.
The buzz,
but again, I don't think that leaves the NBA bubble. Ohtani would, Durant would, LeBron would, but Ohtani's the only baseball player that leaves the baseball bubble.
So you mentioned that Soto and Ohtani are two, again, the people that people care about, where they go. So my question is it bad for the sport, though, that Soto is a Yankee and that Ohtani could be a Dodger? Is it bad that it went to the two Death Stars?
It's a great question, and we'll do it next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
All right, for the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call or click Grainger.com or just stop by.
I like carbohydrates.
You never have to miss a
So when I spell mine, if I'm on the phone with a bank or something, S as in Sedale, L as in Lou, I
LeBron.
as in Ingram.
What's W?
W as in Woolridge.
Awesome.
Great pull.
Orlando Woolridge was a Laker for what, one season?
Yeah, I don't know. How
Wasn't
long it
more
was.
than two, that's
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
It's A.
He didn't put A.
Well, what would be A?
Anthony Peeler.
Anthony Davis.
Oh, Anthony Peeler.
Hey.
No, Peeler. Anthony Peeler.
Yeah,
Anthony.
yeah, Davis
Well, they
is
can
too
just
obvious.
leave it to their, they can figure it out from there.
No, but you have to say A as in Anthony Peeler.
A as in Anthony. That's Anthony Peeler.
I like this game.
That's funny.
I like this game.
That's good.
Em, ask your question again.
So we were talking about how
Say it to my face.
Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani are the biggest acquisitions you can make this offseason. And that Ohtani, presumably by everybody, is going to go to the Dodgers, and that Juan Soto has already agreed to go to the Yankees. That is it bad for the sport that the two biggest acquisitions went to the quote-unquote Death Stars of the MLB?
Let me say this real quick on the Ohtani stuff. I'm not kidding. I really do genuinely believe this. I think the only surprise left is that if somebody said Ohtani's going to Toronto or Ohtani's going back to the Angels, at this point, if they made an announcement in the next hour that Ohtani is a Dodger, it's not going to be a surprise.
I agree.
I think it's just more of
exciting.
Oh my gosh, freaking Shohei Ohtani is going to be a Dodgers thing.
Yeah.
Blah blah. I think it's that. It's the shock. He's coming to the NL. It's the what about when he goes to San Francisco and you're playing the Giants? What's that going to be like? I think it's that, but it's not the surprise factor. The only surprise for me is if he's not representing the Dodgers this upcoming year.
It would be a
At this
mild
stage.
surprise if
At
he
this
went
stage.
somewhere else. I wouldn't knock me over for a feather level because
it's Shohei?
Yeah, exactly right. Because he's different than just about anybody else we've seen in this league, and he does things that I don't think anybody expects occasionally. So I would be surprised if he goes somewhere else, but it wouldn't be, you've got to be kidding me level of surprise. I think the emotion, you're right, is excitement. To M's question, if this were basketball, I think it would be a much bigger problem if all of the stars were concentrated on one or two teams. Because if I have the two best players, I got a really good chance of winning a bunch of games and maybe a championship. Basketball is all about get two or three stars and then figure it out from there. Baseball doesn't really work like that. The Angels, let's start right there. They've had the two best players in baseball for the last 6 years and haven't done anything. The Dodgers have had the best team for 10 years, and they won one half-season World Series. The Yankees haven't won the World Series since 2009.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not like these teams. They're going to always get stars. Aaron Judge is always going to be a Yankee because they'll pay him. You know, the Dodgers will always have a Mookie type, a Kershaw type, a Freeman type, maybe an Ohtani type.
Can we use Soto as an example? I don't think the Padres thought when they got Juan Soto, that's it. He ain't going anywhere else. I think they knew they had a short window because some big market team was going to go pay him $500 million plus or whatever that number becomes.
You think the Astros care that Juan Soto's in New York? They don't. You know, you think the Braves will be devastated if the Dodgers end up with Shohei Ohtani?
Yes.
I think it's one of those, okay,
I
they're
think
going to be better.
all of Major League Baseball is going to say, well, how the hell do you beat that?
Let's see, right?
Yeah.
I agree with you, but it's like, no, our process works. We develop our guys. When it's time to pay them, okay, Matt Olson, bring him in. Here's all the money.
Sure.
Ronald Acuna, here's all the money. They're going to take care of people. Baseball works more like football, where you want the quarterback, you want Patrick Mahomes, you want Lamar Jackson, but you got to have an offensive line. You got to have a defense that can stop somebody. It's not just headline stuff.
Angels are the perfect example of that.
And so are the Yankees and the Dodgers. The Yankees are in the what you can
But
buy.
Angels are the perfect example of you can also have
Well, the Angels,
the all-star into this and then not even be anywhere near it. Can I list
the
off?
Angels are the perfect example of this is the worst case scenario of what you might have. The Dodgers are the best case scenario of what money can buy you. We're in it every year. Doesn't guarantee you. The Yankees, for the first time, I want to say in about 13, 14 years, finished under 500 or right
They didn't
near.
make the playoffs.
Right.
Yep.
That you can buy relevancy and you can buy competitiveness, but you can't buy titles in baseball. It doesn't work like that.
And there was a time where you can make, the argument that, okay, I don't know if don't know if I completely agree. You can't buy titles, but damn, being able to go spend on Juan Soto, you definitely increase your chances
juice it a little bit,
significantly.
but
if Ohtani ends up with the Dodgers,
we'll see.
I mean, you got Ohtani, you got Mookie, you got Freddie, you got yes, there are players that you've also brought in through your system, but I don't know if the Dodgers are the best example of that.
They're the very best example.
But let me give you the results. The results when the dust settles. Are the Texas Rangers a franchise that, you look at as, here they go, they did it again? You don't.
Got Seager, though.
They got Seager.
But most of those other guys were either very inexpensive or homegrown.
DeGrom.
But your question.
Didn't pitch.
Scherzer.
Didn't
but I'm
pitch
just saying
much.
they
Your question was, is it bad for baseball that they went, look, you got a blue chip and a blue chip, it's the Dodgers and the Yankees, which I think is a fascinating question. But I think if you look at when the dust settles, here are your World Series champions let's just use the last 10 years as an example. It's not like it's Yankees, Dodgers. I don't know, think of whatever big markets, Chicago, whatever the case is. It's Texas, Houston, Atlanta, L.A., Washington, Boston, and then 7 years in, you had a team repeat. Well, 2017 is the year we all know. And again, it was the Houston market. We're
Right.
not talking about it was
With
a market.
almost exclusively homegrown players.
Chicago gets their first one in, how long? 100 years, whatever it was. Kansas City, San Francisco, Boston, and then you start getting San Francisco, St. Louis. The point, you could go all the way to that championship in 2009 with the Yankees before you got both the Yankees and the Dodgers in a almost 14, 15-year period where they got one. And for the Dodgers, they also didn't get one since 1988 other than 2020.
It's not like the Warriors and Cavaliers facing
Right.
off every single NBA
Right.
Finals for, 5 years?
4.
I think
4 years?
4.
Yeah.
But I think I really like her point about it. It's like, hey, is this bad for baseball? Baseball continues to prove nothing's a lock. Nothing is.
No, and baseball, again, is more like there are stars, don't get me wrong. There are big names, but you like baseball because you like baseball and you like baseball games. We all love watching Mike Trout hit, right? You like to watch Ohtani do his thing. Like Ronald Acuna comes up to bat. I want to watch that. He's awesome, and I'd like to see that. But it's not like if you're flipping around and you land on a Braves game and Acuna's not in the batter's box, you keep moving. Unless you're a baseball person, and then you stop. If you're a basketball guy, or if I'm flipping channels and I see Steph, I'm stopping.
Yeah.
If I see Giannis, I'm stopping.
If I see Mahomes,
yeah,
stopping.
yeah. It's baseball's there are fewer of them because it's less popular, but it doesn't operate on that thinnest line on the top. It's more like the football environment. Basketball is all about the stars because you talk about the Pistons back that was 20 years ago. Otherwise, everybody's always had one of the best players in the league, almost without exception.
Yeah, and that's when the dust settles in the NBA. That's what you're going to have.
You have to go back and look at this. When was the last time the best player in baseball was on the World Series champion? I'm just going off the top of my head, right? When
With the Yankees?
Yeah, maybe.
Or Mookie if the Sox?
Okay, but Mookie, Ohtani was around, Trout was around. Judge was around.
Altuve, I don't know if you're
Altuve
saying
might be. Altuve maybe.
Probably.
But it doesn't, was the last time the NBA won with the best player? Last year? You know what I mean? It happens like that. When's the last time the Super Bowl had the best player? Last year?
Yeah, no, every year.
You know what I mean?
It's basically
it's
almost
a different
every year.
way to look at it. Our picks against the spread, and I'm in last. Uh-oh. Better make it a good week. It's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Next Gen is the official AC Heat and Plumbing Company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. Next Gen is the absolute best in the business. Thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. And right now, you can get a 28-point full heat and AC safety inspection and tune-up, just $44, limited through December 30th. That's right, $44 to ensure that your system stays running strong all year long. And they'll even throw in a free air filter, no extra charge. Plus, maybe you got that weird drain in your house, just doesn't drain, takes 5 minutes for all the water to run out of it. If you got that, how about a drain cleaning and camera? Camera inspection for only $44. This is never before seen pricing. Just call 833-3NEXTGEN. That's 833-3NEXGEN. And you can schedule online at nextgenaaronplumbing.com to schedule online.
13 months ago.
The 12 Days of 710. Hi, this is Michelle Smallman, host of the new ESPN radio morning show Unsportsmanlike. Heard weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. right here on 710. It's that time of year, time for the season of winning on 710. Just listen for me to give you the cue to call. When you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, and you get to pick a holiday gift box in the 710 studio. Will it be the Travis box, the Sliwa box, Mason, Ireland, the Sedano box, or Cappy? Each box could have a fabulous prize for you to win.
Because we did have a bye week.
Yeah, we had a bye. What do you want us to do? Everybody's got to have a week off.
Of course, we gotta get better after the bye. We gotta improve.
Get healthy.
And it worked for me and Jorge. I don't know about you
Not
guys,
so
but
much for me.
the standings where we are right now: Jorge's in the lead with 75. I'm right behind him with 73. Then Alan with 64, and then Travis with 62. And so we're gonna start off with where we always do: Rams at the Ravens in Baltimore. Ravens are favored by 7 points. Al, what is your pick?
Rams playing good ball. I want to give them credit. I think this is a scheduled loss. I think we've already talked about they're going to lose this game. But -7, a little bit of momentum. I don't like a lot of these games. I'm going Ravens with my 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Solid.
By 7 points?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am thinking about the times that the Rams have played the Ravens and Lamar Jackson's record against NFC teams.
I
It
hate
is
when
not
I go
favorable.
first, and then she throws all these stats out there that will easily sway me.
Lamar Jackson does not lose to NFC teams.
Only
Also-
twice, right, in his whole career.
Oh, wow.
Mhm. And the last time the Rams played Lamar Jackson, it was a what
Nightmare.
pumping. Yeah.
Nightmare.
So, but the last time the Rams played the Ravens, it was a Tyler Huntley joint, and the Rams beat the Ravens in their Super Bowl season. I think that the Ravens might win, but I think the Rams will cover. Rams, though, at my 1. All right, Jorge, what's your pick?
I'm going with the Ravens as my 3 since the Niners are my 4. I feel so confident about the Ravens. I'm
There you
going
go.
on this one.
Yeah.
All right, Trav.
What you said about the Lamar Jackson, for people that don't remember, it was a Monday Night Football game at the Coliseum, and you don't see this in pro sports very often, and you really don't see it in the NFL very often. There were 22 guys on the field, and there was one guy that was so much better than everybody else. It was a joke. That was Lamar Jackson that night. It's obviously not the same team, same situation, everything else, but Lamar really, really scares me when it comes to those things. But I think 7 is a ton, so I'm going to take the Rams. I don't know if they'll win the game, but I think they're going to cover the 7, and I need to get some points here, so I'm putting it at my 3.
All right, Rams at your 3. Okay, so I'm going to start the next one. This is going to be Seahawks at 49ers. 49ers are favored by 10.5 points. That's massive, especially in a division game. But they've already played this year. It was 31-10.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, in favor of the 49ers. The team is not that different between the two. And the Seahawks just came off a devastating loss. But I think this is a huge number. I think the 49ers won their Super Bowl last week against the Eagles. I think that the Seahawks are going to cover, but I'm not confident at my 2. All right, Jorge, I think your 49ers at your
49ers
4.
my 4.
All right, Travis, what's your pick?
I'm going to take the 49ers as well, but I like what you're saying. The Seahawks have lost 3 in a row. They got San Francisco this weekend. They've got Philadelphia next weekend.
They're fighting
after
for their
that.
life.
Yep.
Their season is spiraling. It's been a disaster for them. They have to win one of these next 2 games. I think they empty the bag here. So I'm going to take San Francisco, but all the way down at the bottom because I think 10.5 is a lot.
All right, so 49ers at your 1.
Correct.
Al, what do you think?
Niners are the best team in the NFL. 10.5 is a ton. Not that they can't cover. I just think they're going to win the game. That it's the game after the big game. And Seattle's that's a great
Usually
opponent
that's a
for them.
letdown, though.
But I'm gonna run with Seattle on this. Not that confident in it, but I'm gonna go Seattle with my 2.
All right, Seattle at your 2. Okay, the next game is going to be the Vikings at the Raiders. The Vikings are favored by 3 points in Vegas. Jorge, what do you pick?
What do they call that guy? Astronaut?
The Pastronaut.
Astronaut.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah,
He will be the starting quarterback this week.
Okay, so I'm going with the Vikings at my 2. Taking the Vikings here.
Okay, Vikings at your 2. Travis, what do you pick?
Raiders at 4, not because I think that's going to happen, not because I think that this matchup is good and that matchup is bad, but I need the Minnesota Vikings to lose the game for the Rams to get into the playoffs. I got my eyes on them. I'm just going to put the energy out there for my Raiders because for at least 1 week, whoever's playing Minnesota is my team. That's the Raiders this week. Raiders all the way at the top.
Welcome to Raider Nation.
There you go.
Al?
Vikings already, we talked about, they already got 2 games against Detroit. They got a game against the Packers. If they lose this one too, on top of that, but I'm with you. Yeah, they just have to cover. I'm with you on I'm going to actually go Raiders with a 3 on this one. So I'm putting my eggs in the Raiders basket there.
Ugh, I do not like how we feel about this because I also picked the Raiders. I feel like the Vikings are on the downward spin. I also want, my friends are making plans for MLK Day weekend, and I was like, maybe I'll keep it open just because the Rams might be playing.
That's like the 3rd weekend in January.
Yeah, I was like, maybe that'll. So anyway,
could happen.
I am picking Raiders at my 3 because I think that the Raiders are going to bounce back. I think they're going to have a good game against the Vikings. The Vikings, Josh Dobbs looked terrible last time. All right, so who starts this time?
Me.
You, Trav? Okay,
Yeah,
Trav.
Trav
This
the
is
final one.
Broncos at Chargers. Chargers, the LA Chargers, right, Travis, are favored by 3 points. So, Trav, what do you got?
Since the Broncos gave up 70 points to the Miami Dolphins, they've been a pretty darn good team. And
Good defense.
The Chargers are completely unknowable. that you have no idea what you're going to get.
They
week to
covered
week.
last week.
They might score 6 and
6-0.
win the game. They might score 40 and lose the game.
Yep.
I have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
So
They'll look bad.
Give me the Broncos. I'll take the points. I think they might win outright. Broncos at 2.
All right, Broncos at your 2. Al, what do you have?
Probably a good game, close game. Broncos now playing for something. Sean Payton looking on the other side saying, really, you guys took this idiot over me. There's maybe a little more personal there. I go Broncos, but not confident. My 1, that's the only thing I got left.
Oh, poop. Now I got to have this. I should change it, but I'm not going to change it. I also have the Broncos. If we're going to do a coach off, I'm picking Sean Payton over Brendan Staley. I think today, though,
Makes no sense.
I think Russell Wilson is playing average. Is playing good enough.
You're right. Yes,
but I
enough
do
said.
think that the Broncos have been getting a lot of turnovers in their favor lately. So
Are
I
they
have
coming
Broncos.
off a loss, too? Was that
Yeah,
the Texans?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was a
that's
close
right.
game.
Close
Texans
game.
are good. Yeah. So Broncos at my 4. And they got a lot of turnovers in that game. Jorge, round us out.
All right, so this falls into the category of my who cares game.
Who
and this is
cares?
going to be Broncos at my 1.
Oh, no. We all picked the Broncos.
Yeah, the Chargers are going to win, and they're going to win big. That's a kiss. Should I just
nuts.
start Xing them off right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what happens every single week.
What's,
We know
Get
that.
going.
what's interesting coming out of the press conferences yesterday, especially with the Rams, is that Sean McVay seems happy. He seems loose for the first time in a long time.
Well, think about it this way. What's different about the Rams this year that's new for the first time in a long time?
Sean's baby?
There's that. They came into a season with 0 expectations. For the first time since Sean McVay's
you're right
very
about it.
first year.
Yeah, you're right about it.
Coming off of a Jeff Fisher special, 4-12. And Sean McVay they hired a 30-year-old?
Sure.
All right, let's see what it looks like. They came in, they went 11-5. And it was like, wait, what? And it went from, I don't know what it's going to be, to you just went 11-5, to now they're in the Super Bowl, to, you didn't win the Super Bowl, to where they were in it, to they're back in the playoffs, they're back. Every single year since his first year, last year you're defending the Super Bowl championship. Massive expectations. This year was, Rams are probably going to be lousy. Let's see what it looks like. And they're not lousy. I don't think they're great, but they're not lousy.
They're not badly coached.
They're
they
not
fight.
badly coached. They play hard. They play more, honestly, pretty clean. They don't turn the ball over a ton. And they're in the mix in the second week of December. It's a huge success. Of course he's in a good mood.
Well, he feels, and I think on top of what you just said, 3 weeks ago they were 3-6.
Yeah.
Right? You're also in a position where it's like, this again? Is there going to be a conversation about me potentially 3 years in a row having a really, really bad season in the NFL? And within a span of Geno Smith getting injured, you take care of Arizona. However you want to describe that Browns game, it was a game until the fourth quarter, and they dominated.
They beat a good team for the first time all year.
That's 3 weeks, 3 straight weeks of everybody's talking about us now. You know what? No. Let's go address our kicker situation. Let's go address this backup quarterback. Oh, they're starting to look at things a lot differently than they were. So there's a reason why he's pep in his step.
Yeah, and I think that it's, for the first time, it's that they, there's freedom, and then I think also that Puka is not corporate. He is fun and talks about how LeBron, that he has a guy that's youthful, that doesn't know anything else than to be excited about playing football. And I think especially in the last game we saw that on display.
He nearly walked away 2 years in a row. We kind of moved past that because
Sean
McVay, that 2 years ago after they won the Super Bowl, it's like Amazon came in with a Godfather offer. It's like, okay, do I go do this? He didn't. They had a terrible season last year. It looked, to your point, Em, that Sean McVay had the weight of the world on his shoulder. He looked miserable in the second half of that season. Right. And at the end of the year, I thought he was probably leaving. And I think he was thinking about it. He took some time. He made his decision in less than a week. Remember, wait, okay. And you could tell he loves to coach football. And now getting to do it this year with a team that is decent, but it's more coaching, leadership, development, all of these things. And, oh, by the way, we're halfway decent. It's a perfect mix.
And I think that Jordan Rodriguez for The Athletic has written about this a ton, about the perspective that Sean McVay learned last year. Learning through adversity, it's the first time he was truly challenged, as in maybe I'm not that good at this kind of perspective. And I joked about having the baby, but like having a baby, getting married, everything gets put into perspective, and he looked about his job in a different way.
He's a really good coach. He's a really good coach.
This year also
Take that,
too.
Samuel L. Jackson.
I think we all knew he was not a good coach, a great coach, I would say. But I think this year, it's the way you described it. It's when you're not expected to do much. That's when it could become most interesting. It's not the best example, but I'll give it. I get it when Phil Jackson has Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. The expectations are going to be, okay, go make it happen. But when it's use a coach, the Orlando Magic coach right now, I think it's Jamal Mosley. He's got them with one of the best records in the Eastern Conference. Like, well, how the hell did that happen? Or the Arizona Diamondbacks, how the hell did that happen? I think that's when you appreciate it more, not when the expectations are there. It's what do you have with your roster, and are you surpassing? They were 5.5 in Vegas. We're in week 13, and they already passed it.
I think what's so exciting about the Rams, too, is that you've got the right guy in the building. There's no more, hey, did we just hit it right with the right personnel? It's like, no, we've given him a roster of all pros. They won the Super Bowl. We've given him a roster of all pros. They win the division. Now you gave him a roster full of kids and inexperienced players and a couple of older veterans. They're pretty good again. Like the system works. The culture has been officially changed, and he gets all the credit in the world for that. The Dump's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Hey, if you get hurt in an accident, you got to call Sweet James. 1-800-9-MILLION. 1-800-900-0000. Because if you make that call, the call that I've made, my friends have made, my family has made, here's what you get. You get a level of expertise that you're really not going to find too many other places. Somebody that's been in the game for 20 years. Somebody that's going to have multiple attorneys look at every case. Somebody that's got a 98% winning percentage when they go to trial. Somebody that's going to get your car fixed, your medical expense covered, and, of course, that settlement that we're talking about. These are the ones that can change your life. These are the ones that can make your life whole again. So make sure that you make the right call. Make sure that you reach out to Sweet James. 1-800-900-0000. That's 1-800-9-MILLION. It's the call I made after my own family members have been involved in accidents. It's the call I'm asking you to make if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Call the accident attorneys at Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION and sweetjames.com.
The biggest
today, and I had to look at it 39 times. Former Jaguars employee.
It's actually from The Athletic.
Oh, it's from The Athletic? Well, ESPN had an article on it as well.
But it was originally reported by The Athletic.
Yes, Sliwa.
Sorry, I'm just giving them credit.
I'll give the credit to The Athletic. The Athletic originally came out with a story, and the ESPN copied
Now
them
you know
and
what
put
Ben
it on
feels like.
ESPN.com.
Sorry, guys.
Former Jaguars employee Amit Patel, according to The Athletic, has been accused of stealing over $22 million from the team's coffers in a scheme that allegedly lasted from 2019 until earlier this year. I guess there's a virtual credit card, and his job was to oversight of this VCC,
like
virtual
expenses.
credit card, exactly, which intended to be used for employees to fund legitimate business expenses to commit fraud. Okay, I get it. This stuff happens, especially somebody in that position. I understand that
People steal.
people steal.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say hypothetically, you know what? I stole $1,000 worth of expenses. Okay, maybe nobody's going to notice it. It's that big of a team. It's an NFL team. I stole $100,000 from this NFL team. Okay, $100,000. All right, it sounds like a lot, but you know what? The NFL, these teams are worth billions. He sold $22 million. How is nobody know? It took 3 years for them, 4 years for them to find out. $22 million?
Unless he's the one that's in charge of making sure the books are square, right? Like if he's also in the department where, hey, I can run the VCC, the virtual credit card department. I'm also the one that gives the P&L at the end of the year for this whole thing, and I can bury some of this money. And I would bet, I don't know, but usually these things start. You guys have all seen Office Space, right? Where they're going to take like the fractions of cents.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that it compounds. It's like, wait, what have we done? This could have been I'm going to put this on the company VCC, and I'm going to get the seafood tower.
Yeah.
Nobody says a word. You know what? I'm going to bring my friends, and we're going to get a seafood tower.
Well, you
Nobody
better
says
buy a
word.
Mastros because you're so far away
But
from
you
getting.
just keep going, and it's like, to your point, you know what? I could take
Nobody noticed anything.
Right.
I'm
going to keep going. Nobody's paying attention. I'm
Yeah.
actually the one that's supposed to be catching this stuff in the first place. And the next thing you know, you own Mastros with their money.
I'm just waiting for him to be sitting down with the owner and owner of the Jaguars, and he's sitting there and he's like, listen, something fishy's going on. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get to the bottom of it. And then he goes back and just continues doing it.
This is I have a handful of friends in my life that have a lot of money, right? And so it's one of those that one of the rule is you hire two accountants and you tell each one that the other one is a crook, right? And then you have them checking up on each other. They don't know each other. Here's my book. You do, and you tell each of them, this guy, I think he's stealing from me. Is he stealing from me? And they check each other's math basically. And if it both comes back, no, looks pretty good. There you keep going.
That sounds like somebody who has a lot of money. That sounds like a really good game plan. I wouldn't have even think of that if I had a lot of money and I'm the one probably getting $22 million for me.
Yeah, you hire two and you tell them both that the other guy's a crook.
Larry Bird, 67 years old today. Wow. It's funny. You say...
Does he still look like a tomato?
Yeah, probably.
I was just thinking about that picture, too.
Also, the casting for Winning Time, getting that guy to play Larry Bird.
Amazing.
Great.
Yeah, they killed it. You say this about Bird, and I don't have this connection because I just wasn't old enough during the Lakers Showtime era.
Yeah, Travis had kids already. He was 50.
I mean, not exactly, but...
Sorry, go on, Al.
No, let's use the Larry Bird. I think you said it's the best, the tomato thing.
It's incredible.
It's a Jordan meme, too, the crying meme. You see it everywhere.
That tomato looks like Larry Bird. I don't care what anybody says.
How about the Jordan meme?
For those of you at home, Google tomato Larry Bird, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
That's actually really good. The Jordan meme, it's in the background of everything. Like, it doesn't matter what it was. It's like, can you find the Jordan meme? But you've said this before. Is he the player that you hated the most?
Without question. Because he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the team that could beat the Lakers. There was, for most of the 80s, there was really only one team that you really thought might beat the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Celtics. And I know that the Celtics felt exactly the same way. There's really only one team that even if we play at our best can beat us. It's the Lakers.
They just got to come out of that side, and we got to come out of this side.
Now, weird-ish happens,
of course.
But for 10 years, one or the other or both of them were in the finals. And Larry Bird hit more big shots and did more stuff to mess with the Lakers during my childhood than anybody ever. Magic was my favorite guy. Well, Larry would give him the business occasionally, and then Magic would turn around and do it to him. But I didn't hate Danny Ainge like that because Danny Ainge wasn't going to break my heart by just going out there and getting 40 one night.
Bird was trying to.
Bird was.
Yeah.
Bird
It's kind of funny because today watching sports, I hate less of the opposing team. I hate more of my team. Like, why are you doing? Like, it's more me paying more attention to my players than paying attention to the other side. Ownership, I think for everybody, you have a franchise that that you cheer for or that you used to cheer for. Ownership, I think, also gets a lot.
I don't
of that.
care what Lance Lynn's doing for the White Sox. I care what he's doing for the Dodgers.
Right.
I need you to stop doing that to my team, even though you're on my team.
Another great birthday today is Terrell Owens. Turns
T.O.
50.
T.O. My quarterback.
He was a baller in that Super Bowl, by the way.
He sure was.
Yeah.
What's
on
great
a bummed ankle.
About that generation
leg,
is
right?
Might have been. I thought it was ankle.
But we don't really have the same level of diva, quote unquote, wide receivers as we did in the past, But I think that there are some diva candidates. Maybe if Tyreek Hill didn't get, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson, things like that. But T.O. had this era where he was fantastic on the field, and you don't know what you're gonna get off the field. The gold jacket, all good stuff.
All of it. That he was.
Sharpie.
He didn't show up for his Hall of Fame induction because he was in his feelings.
Yeah. Did he get the cell phone? Did he put the cell phone
in?
in?
That was Joe Horn.
Oh, Joe. Okay. Yeah.
Joe, and the Hall of Fame jacket was Chad Ochocinco.
I'm getting all confused because they are.
But
the 50-yard line, didn't he do the at the Cowboys?
Oh,
at
yeah.
Yep.
Randy Moss, T.O., Keyshawn, right?
Ochocinco.
These were the guys that were really awesome players.
Yep.
But there was always drama surrounding them, right?
Yeah.
There was Key and John Gruden screaming at each other. There's T.O. crying on TV or whatever it is, doing sit-ups in his driveway while his agent's going, next question. It was wonderful.
I forgot about that.
It was wonderful.
What was his agent's name?
Drew Rosenhaus.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know if we want to do it on the air. If I called Drew Rosenhaus right now,
he'd answer.
He might answer, and I can almost virtually guarantee you he'd go, Trav, I was just about to call you. Because every time I called him for the better part of about 8 or 9 years, I was just about to, how many times Drew Rosenhaus has called me in my life? 0 times.
That is, by the way, that's the worst thing. When somebody tells you that, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about you. I really hope you were, but I know you weren't. You don't have to say it.
If I say it, it's true. Because it
no,
happens
if you say it
occasionally.
is, yeah. But I'm saying, like you said, Rosenhaus is a good example.
Yeah, go to Super Crosstalk and go home.
What do you mean?
Your voice is awful.
I
Get
sound
off
good.
the air. Go home.
Got a lot of important things to say that I haven't gotten out yet.
Send him a text.
He's getting his money's worth. He's getting his money's worth.
Worse during the, like I heard you earlier. And
Yeah.
Pick up your mic. Pick up a mic.
And now, it's really rough.
Remember we talked about scotch
and cigarettes yesterday.
I tried it out last night.
Oh no! Don't do it.
That's what he wanted.
do it.
He wanted his voice to change.
Yeah, and by the way, I love that you like being here all the time. Emily, can you find someone for Travis tomorrow?
Nope.
His voice needs to ref.
We're going to have 3 people in here.
You need to
We
throw
need
in
you
the
on
towel.
Sunday.
Hang on a second. Ireland's in Vegas.
John,
You're a voice expert.
How do I sound?
John, what do you think?
Trav, you're done.
Tap out.
It's painful to listen to.
It really is.
Hey, Beto, you free?
He's on the afternoon show tomorrow.
Trav, you're not only done today. See you on Monday.
No, and see you Sunday. You can do the
Sunday.
Rams.
I got Rams.
do the
I
Rams.
got
Save
Rams
up
on
for the
Sunday.
Rams,
Ira.
yeah.
All right, that's enough.
Gotta talk about
Like
Lamar Jackson.
Mason loves
I'm
to tell a
serious.
story about Bruce Smith. He says he's got about 1,000 plays in him. You can have him in practice. You can have him in a game. You ran out of plays about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
You know what? Go to Super Crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
I've never seen Travis get kicked out of a studio. There it is.
Missed it.
Yeah,
He got kicked out.
It was painful to listen to.
Yeah.
Slee.
Bergman actually walked in. You're done. You're done. You're
Yeah.
through.
Yeah,
You know,
he
that
got
happened to-
he got
that
thrown
happened to
out of a
Chick-
game.
That happened to Chick Hearn twice in his career. You know, Chick had that unbelievable streak of more than 3,000
Unbelievable.
consecutive games
Wow.
that no one will ever touch. And on 2 different occasions, they went to Chick, sounded like Travis, and they went to Chick and said, you did the first half, you gave it your best shot, you're done. And Stu had to do the second half because he was that bad. Trav reached that level at about 11:15.
Well, I think we all know Trav good enough. He's going to just continue working.
He's a grinder. I mean, that's the thing about Trav. He's a grinder.
Until you
he's
tell
kind of the
him-
opposite of Mason. Like, if Mason's a little bit sick, he's out.
You know,
if Travis is
screw,
full
I am
sick-
having a really good year. Screw you. Stop coming after me on that.
What are you talking about?
Well, he had the streak.
I had the streak. Plus, I've only missed 2 days since August the 18th.
Yeah,
Two
this is the best
shows.
year. This is the best year you've ever
It's
had.
a
But do you-
record-breaking
Do you think
year.
it's a permanent change or just a bit?
Permanent change.
You're going to have like a bigger work ethic because of this?
Better work ethic. That's what they're going to say about Mason. Great work ethic, man. He's a grinder.
John, what do you know AC Green for? What is he known for?
Most consecutive games in NBA history.
Iron Man, everything else. You're going to
Yeah.
tell me that you don't think the same thing when you think of Mace?
Iron Man, man.
No,
Iron Man.
I will say this. I didn't think Mace was going to hit his 58 shows in a row, and he did it
Did accomplish it.
somewhat easily.
It actually wasn't
even-
hard, yeah.
It wasn't even like can't remember if there were even a couple of occasions where you came close to not coming in.
You know what the key to the whole thing is? And this is why I think
Deciding you're actually going to show up?
No, it's deciding that I don't have to have so much anguish about the show. Like I'm not gonna be I'm gonna try not to be self-critical. I'm gonna try to just let it roll and not take any of it personally. You have a bad show, you have a bad show, fine, move on.
Okay, I have a dilemma that you
Good way to
two-
look at it.
That you two, especially you, Slee, are uniquely qualified to weigh in on. All right, so here's my dilemma. If the Lakers win tonight, and I think they're going to win, I cannot fly home with the team. The team is not flying home until Sunday, middle of the day, if they win tonight. So I've got to fly commercial. Mace, the reason I have to do this is Lisa's 2 best friends, and I like their husbands. We do stuff together all the time. They picked Sunday as the day to go to Love Actually Live.
Yes.
And it's in the middle of the day. And those are hard tickets to get. And
Yep.
they only come, they live in San Diego. They only come, so I have to get home. So, Slee, here's my dilemma.
Okay.
I would like to, in a perfect world, the championship game is 5:30 on Saturday. There is one flight I could make Saturday night and get home Saturday night late. It's at 10:30. If I don't take that flight, I got to fly 6:05 a.m. Sunday morning, okay, which is, kind of takes over your life. So you would say, all right, Ireland, just take the Saturday night flight.
Yeah.
Here's the catch. It's on Spirit.
Oh, interesting. So
Isn't
you are
Spirit
uniquely qualified.
the airline you had the problem with?
So I did have a problem with Spirit, and we were kind of battling here over about a $75, $80 charge. Greg was saying, you know what, screw the charge. It's only $75, $80. Ramona, Trav, everyone's like, no, Al, you got to fight it. I eventually got it handled. So whatever issue I had with Spirit, I say you
Give
got
him a chance?
Yeah, I say give him a chance. And also, don't you want to be home on Saturday night, then try to leave
it's such
Sunday
a short
morning?
flight. How bad
Right.
can it be?
Yeah.
So wait, Mace, you would take Spirit?
If I had to get home and I was going to see Love Actually, I would say yes.
I have
take
2
Spirit.
choices. I go 10:30 Saturday night or 6:05 Sunday morning on
I'll
Delta.
go Saturday night.
Yeah, I'd go Saturday night also.
Okay. I'm going to
Yeah,
try it.
Vegas, by the way, at 6:05 in the morning or whatever time, you got people that never went to sleep. They've been drinking the whole time, so you're going to have to deal with that.
What
Saturday,
makes you think
10:30.
What makes you think I wouldn't be one of them?
Right. We're flying back Sunday morning from Vegas too. We're flying. And it's hard because
When
there's
are you flying to Vegas?
tomorrow night.
Okay.
Friday night, and then home on Sunday morning. And I think that the 8:05, there's like an 8, a 9, and a 10. And I'm like, well, I'd really like to fly the 10. But then the Rams play at 10.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So one of the things we're talking about doing is taking the late flight, because I like to sleep in, and then doing the Rams game on the DVR and not turning the computer or the phone on before the game and watch it. It won't work. Why?
It won't work. Somebody will tell you the score.
The text is going to be the problem.
You'll be walking through the airport, and one of you or Juan, will look up and see a TV, or somebody will recognize you and go, "Hey, Mace, how about those Rams?"
Yeah,
I don't think you can. What do you think, Slee? I don't think you can realistically travel through a major airport and not hear the score.
Or you might. Here's another thing too. Can't look at your phone. Don't
Correct.
open up Twitter.
I got to turn my phone into a brick when I get on the plane.
I got an idea. Wait, it's a 10 a.m. game?
Yeah, it's 10 a.m. game in Baltimore. Yeah.
So, and you're going to U2 Saturday night?
Correct.
Go to U2.
Mm-hmm.
Spend the night in Vegas.
Yes.
Go to a sports bar in Vegas, watch the game, and fly home at like 2:30.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. That's actually pretty good.
I think that's the home run.
That's a strong.
Now you're catching the whole game.
Possibility, yeah.
And you're watching it with a bunch of fans in a sports book. It'd be fun.
Okay, have you guys heard of? Emily saw Godzilla -1.
Yes.
That sounded like Godzilla for a second.
Mace, you know how many movies she watches?
She sees more than me, which is something else.
So
nobody sees more than you.
No, I think Emily sees
Emily
everything.
does. I think that we literally had a count here, and I think she's in front of Mace.
That shocks me, but go ahead.
You guys know that she's also a pretty harsh critic when it comes to movies. This is what she likes.
Mm-hmm.
She makes sure. She said, "Em, you could describe it yourself here. Top 2 you've seen this year."
It's my top. So I have it at number 4. I have a list on my Letterboxd of my top 10 movies of the year. It's number 4 for me, but I only ranked.
Why did you like it so much?
It is Jaws mixed with Jurassic Park mixed with Oppenheimer. It is just this spectacle, and the pacing is fantastic. The story is interesting. It's better than any Godzilla film that you might be thinking about. It's
kidding.
It's more about the heart of the story. I cried, John. There's a point in which the heart of the story is so impactful.
Are there any big name actors in it?
No, it's all Japanese actors that I was not aware of beforehand. So they might be famous in Japan, but I did not know about them ahead of time. But the CGI is fantastic. The score is amazing. But if you like Jurassic Park, Jaws, and Oppenheimer, you'll like this.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I put together a list every year. I haven't seen Godzilla, but right now my favorite movie of the year is called Past Lives. It's on.
It's mine too.
Is it your favorite movie?
It's my number one. My number one's Past Lives as well.
What's that about?
It's about two Korean kids who kind of fall in love back in the day, play together as kids. Mm-hmm. Then they get together as sort of 20s age, and then they get together as 30s.
She moves to Canada. He stays in Korea.
Yeah. Really, really good movie. It's the one movie that made me cry this year.
Or do you have to go to a theater?
It'll be on Max soon.
And it's a $4.99 rental if you want it. By the way, the movie that holds up really well in my head from this year is Air.
Yeah,
Air was
great.
good.
Air was a really good movie.
Not in my top 10, but it's really good.
Yeah, Air is in my top 10 for sure. I love that. And the other one's in my top 10, John. Did you see a movie with Julie Louis-Dreyfus called You Hurt My Feelings?
Ooh.
No.
So
Great.
good.
It is very
you love
good.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
I'll watch
She's
her
good.
do anything.
Yeah,
so.
she's really good.
Have you seen The Holdovers?
I'm not yet.
That's number 5.
I'm actually talking to the actress next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Divine Joy Randolph. Is that her name?
So good.
Yeah.
She made me cry too.
We're doing her on the podcast next week.
I'll
She's
listen.
going to be an Oscar nominee. So, all right. You did the Christmas movie draft. We haven't even talked about it.
I know.
Ireland is Captain Christmas.
Yeah, wait, no. So what, you guys all picked movies?
Yeah, so we
I'll
did.
tell you this right now. Whoever got Love Actually wins.
This is unbelievable.
Oh,
I'm
no.
looking at the list right now.
This might be the John one.
Nobody took Love Actually.
Yeah, this is where he calls us all
Nobody
idiots. This might be the
drafted
time.
Love Actually, John.
This draft is thrown out on the basis of the people who drafted are idiots.
Love Actually is, and obviously Ireland's huge Love Actually fan. I've been going to that stage show every year for years. It's awesome. Love Actually is my number one.
Okay,
going away.
Number one. Give us your. We did our draft. Your top 3 Christmas movies.
It's a Wonderful Life. Elf.
Okay,
Maybe
Elf was taken early.
Yeah, Elf is great.
I would do Love Actually, It's a Wonderful Life, and The Holiday with Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz.
By the way, none of those were on the list.
The Holiday would have been just barely on my honorable mentions.
Christmas
Vacation
Vacation is
Vacation's great.
Christmas Vacation is very funny.
Nobody took It's a Wonderful Life?
Nope.
That's
No.
It's
What
not
kind
a
of
legitimate
draft
draft.
is this?
We took
No Man is Poor
Home
to His
Alone
Friends.
is Gone, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Jingle All the Way, Elf, Christmas Story.
I know
Bad
who
Santa.
took Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, let's list them. So Sliwa took Home Alone, The Night Before Christmas, and A Charlie Brown Christmas.
All fine.
Okay.
All solid.
that your list sucks. Lee.
Home Alone is a legendary.
Home Alone
Christmas
growing
movie.
up was one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
Travis picked Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa, and Die Hard.
Yeah, I got to give him some credit. Christmas Vacation is very funny. Bad Santa is hilarious.
Yeah,
that's
good.
a sleeper.
That's a good one.
Travis has a great list. What's yours, Em?
Mine is Elf, A Christmas Story, and Little Women 2019, the Greta Gerwig Little Women.
Yeah.
It's okay if you don't like it. I love it.
That's too arty.
The first two are very good.
Yeah,
and then
Elf and A
Jorge
Christmas
obviously took Jingle All the Way. It's his favorite movie of all time.
And then The
right?
Santa Claus and Claus, a new animated movie that was on Netflix.
Well, it's a good thing you guys didn't invite Bergman because he would have picked Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's right. Yeah, that one would have.
And what about the one with Good Afternoon? That's from a Christmas movie, right?
I would put Spirited in my top 5 all-time Christmas. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it, no.
Oh, come on. Did you see it, Slee?
I haven't seen it.
It is so much fun. Brian, did you see it?
Yeah, I've seen it recently.
Good afternoon.
So good. Yeah. So good. Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. Will's a big listener. Go
it's a
see.
Good watch.
Yeah, get Spirited.
No,
Ireland,
any Will Ferrell movie I'm in.
Broadway John, this is Will
I'll
Ferrell.
Watch it. I promise
a
you
musical.
I will watch it in this month.
Okay, good.
I'm on the road, you guys. I'm on the road today. I'm flying tomorrow. I leave Monday for Texas for a week. I come home for 2 days, and then I'm back out again. So I'm going to be on a lot of planes, a lot of hotels. I'll find time to watch it.
John, how was Peppermint Rhino? Did they remember us?
Yeah.
Slee, they did not. They did not give me a discount. I was very disappointed.
Yes.
I thought I would walk in like I owned the place, and they had no idea who I was.
Did you go back to the same ATM that probably charged you, I don't know,
20% interest?
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. No, I don't even know where the Peppermint Hippo is. Like, we just got in Ubers that night and went. I would have trouble finding it again.
By the way, isn't that just a parody of the Spearmint Rhino?
Okay, so you know the story. You know the story then?
No, I don't.
So,
by the way, Peppermint Hippo is a strip club or a gentleman's club in Vegas that John and Slee will go to.
I would again emphasize the gentleman's club part. I think that part is important. So I guess the story behind this is there was a South Park episode making fun of Spearmint Rhino.
Right.
So they're like, well, we can't call it that because we don't own it. So then they went with Peppermint Hippo.
Nice. I like that.
And then some guy gets the idea that, well, why don't I open one up called Peppermint Hippo? And I think that's, John, if you remember, that was part of the story
so
that
it's
we
like
got.
stolen from South Park.
Taken from, and approved, and I think approved that it's okay to do it, to use it.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, O'Shea Jackson Jr. just texted, and he says, Emily is spot on about Godzilla.
Yes.
Oh, is O'Shea
also
in
love
it?
doing Cocaine Bear.
No, Shay did do a Godzilla movie a few years back, but he's not in
Cranston
this
did
one.
a Godzilla movie too. I think.
Cranston and Shay were in the same one, I think. Cranston, spoiler, dies really
All right,
early.
So do you guys have ESPN on right now in the studio?
Somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah, I
The
know that's MLB
in-season-
Network. That's
okay. The in-season tournament court, the Eastern Conference.
Slee just showed it to me.
At the top of the hour.
Very bright.
Is super. There's a controversy. The Lakers wanted to wear their black uniforms. They're 4-0 in the in-season tournament in their black uniforms, and the league said no because it'll contrast with the court. And now I see why. The court is like this super dark red and blue. That's why they're making the Lakers wear their gold unis. The court is like super freakish.
Mace, and I know you guys have gone on your in-season tournament. You guys like what they're doing, the concept of it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If the Lakers weren't in it, let's say they just lost in the group.
Yeah.
Let's say they went 2-2 in the group.
Okay.
Would you still have that much interest tonight, or is this just a specific? Hey,
Well,
the Lakers.
Wait a minute,
are in it?
did they make it or not?
Let me ask you a more direct question.
Yeah.
Would you watch the in-season tournament? Let's say, so if the Lakers would have lost, it would be Phoenix taking on New Orleans.
Yeah.
In Vegas. Would you watch that, or would you watch the Patriots and Steelers on Thursday night
Oh, my
football?
God. Patriots and Steelers. I heard them talking. The over-under's 30.5 on Patriots.
Lowest
Steelers.
over-under in 30 years.
John, I'd
My
watch
God.
the NBA games in a heartbeat, and it doesn't have to be the in-season tournament over a game like that.
Yeah, by the way, poor Al
I'm not
Michaels.
watching
Poor
Thursday
Al
Night Football.
Michaels.
Every
I mean,
week.
seriously, every week they give him another Bobo game. It's terrible.
We'll get some good.
By the way, I wouldn't
soundbite
sound
from him.
excited either doing
I know.
Patriots Steelers.
All right, Super Crosstalk is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger, that's what a hamburger is all about. Mason and Ireland coming up next.
Days of 710.